live. Hey guys, happy I guess weekend before Christmas. How you guys doing? I got my girl Bree on the line.
Good morning, y'all.
Yes,
Happy Saturday.
yeah, we had a pretty darn good week. You know what? I gotta say, Bree, I honestly believe that what we saw with both shows, Bold and YNR, should have been what they had for November sweeps.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. It's like they were a week or two behind, but hey, it's something.
Even with the little bit that we did get with Beyond the Gates, that too, especially toward the end, we find out what happened with Anita, and then possibly what's going on with Mr. Vernon Dupree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about that.
Okay.
Boy.
Okay. All right, you guys. So welcome to Soap Corner Talk, where myself is T, and of course my girl Bree. We're going to recap The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and Beyond the Gates for the week of December 15th through December 19th. Man, it's only about a week and a half or so left. Well, as of today, it's the 20th. 11 days left in 2025.
Wow. My gosh. We're in a new year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So here's some upcoming things as we get closer to the new year, and I gotta collaborate with my co-host too. But I'm gonna just throw this idea out there, Bree. So
Mm-hmm.
probably, I'm assuming maybe either the day after Christmas. Well, that's a Friday, so we'll be recapping this coming week. But I'm trying to carve out a separate day. I know people are busy on Christmas Eve, with maybe family coming in or doing some cooking. And then New Year's Eve, folks are probably going to be doing some things. So I'm trying to figure out one particular day outside of the podcast day
Mm-hmm.
where we will kind of do a kind of yearly recap and do the good and the bad, top storylines of the year, worst storylines of the year. Talk about stuff like that. What maybe we would hope for 2026. Things like that. To get everybody really reflecting on, especially the fact that Bold got no nominations this year. And I think a Young and the Rest, well, they did get, Lisa Yamada did get an award this year for the Emmys. And then Young and the Restless, they got nominations, but only got one. And of course, that was Susan Walters Ashby. So, we want to talk about maybe what they need to do, what they need to revamp. Maybe should they take some ideas. Well, I see, at least Beyond the Gates is trying to cross over some things. We heard that this week when they was talking about Lauren Finmore. They definitely give homage to the other soaps. So, I want to carve out a separate day outside of the weekly recap day where we can actually sit back and kind of reflect on 2025 and everything that's happened this year.
We can definitely do that. Probably like if anything, maybe like in the morning,
Oh,
like a nice little morning recap.
okay. Well, here's the thing. I got a lot of time off coming up this week. So I'm off the day before Christmas, the day after Christmas, and the weekend, the day before Christmas, New Year's, New Year's Eve, I should say. New Year's Eve, um, of course, New Year's Day, and the day after January 2nd. So if y'all want, we can do some morning chats. I know a lot of folks got some time off. We can figure that out. If that's going to work for the Soapies, work for you guys. I would like to get Jay and Keish in there so, everybody have their say for this year. They really had, and
Mm-hmm.
I know Keish have had a lot of conflicting schedules and things going on. And Jay has been trying to take care of himself because I know he had an accident or something early this year, right?
Yeah.
So, I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure. I'm also considering adding an additional co host. Girl, somebody knocking at your door?
No,
Oh.
I think they're trying to fix something. Sorry, you guys.
Oh, okay. So I'm considering add in another co-host, preferably somebody from our chat that can, that maybe all of us are maybe know things like that. That's something I'll talk to y'all about. But I just want to kind of put some things out there as we get ready to go in the 26th.
Sound good to me.
Okay. All right. So just putting some ideas out there, you guys. I see everybody's talking about Vernon already.
Yeah, we had our discussion in the chat. Um, but as far as I'm concerned, there's no mention of the song. He was surprised that she was even in town.
Yeah.
So no rehearsals, no nothing, I guess.
Yeah, I know there are people holding out hope. Like Keish is one of them. Keish is holding out hope. I heard her voice message yesterday that she don't think that that's what's going on, but ooh, yeah.
Yeah, but he got a week. He got a week to show us.
Yeah, we'll see within this next less than a week. Christmas is Thursday, unless it's
Yeah,
something with New
exactly.
Year's or something. But Christmas is Thursday, so
New
between
Year's, if he sing, boy, he need to be. I need to see a microphone in his hand at this point because that did not look good.
that
If
didn't
there's
look
no
good at all.
microphone, nope.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. So we'll talk about it when we get to that segment. We usually recap The Young and the Restless first, then The Bold and the Beautiful, Beyond the Gates, and then we do our segments, Flip the Script, Who's Taking Several Seats, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, the Simp Olympics, and the Lily Winters Award. Okay. Well, without any further ado, make sure y'all tap that like button. Tap, tap, tap. And then also make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Also, you guys, if you know other people who are soap fanatics, let share the live. Make sure they come over. Hey, there's a podcast where we be chopping it up on Friday, Saturday, or Monday and having some great conversations. Share the live with other people who are soap fans. We would love to have more folks over here. I would love to continue to grow the platform and to have you guys listen to the recaps, the standalone videos, and also the live chats with us. All right, that's enough of an introductory, I guess.
We gotta get the business out there first
Right,
before
we
we
got
ever
to
get to
take care.
table talk.
Exactly, we got to take care of all of the housekeeping things. All right. How many people in the
Mhm.
chat, Bree?
We got just updated almost 30 people now.
Okay, great. I know it's still early. A lot of folks will probably pick up the replay, and that's fine. But I still wanted to make sure that I had a whole conversation with you guys. All right. So, without any other further ado, we're going to start with The Young and the Restless for this week. A lot was going on. It started out with the launch party of Abbott Communications and that whole 50 soiree. Um, of course, Jack taking the company offline, and Michael, with his little weasel self, decided to run his mouth, and then that caused Adam and Victor to unleash that hit piece on the company. Everybody's scrambling to make deals. There are a couple of Newmans that's not too happy with what's going on, and Audra is being Audra. I guess that sums
Yeah,
it up, right?
pretty much.
Yep. All right. So where do we want to start? I guess we can start at the beginning of the week because it was a progression of things. Let's start out with this whole thing with Kane and Lily, since we only saw them. What was that, on Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Kane is irritating to me. At this point, and I'm going to be, and I don't care if the writers are listening, and I know that there's some fans that tend to maybe think we be a little bit critical, but hey, we all have our say in what we think about the characters, how they're writing. I honestly dislike the Kane character. Now, I had so much hope and excitement for this guy. Billy Flynn is a great actor. I think they're not making good use of his talent. You put this man in a character where he was a billionaire, oh, a multi-billionaire in 6 years, only for him to throw it all away for Lily Winters, who's breadcrumbing him. And you create a program that ends up being used against you because you couldn't play correct with one of the biggest hackers in town. And down here you are, and you wearing a white shirt, and you ran out to get that from Fenmore's because Lily didn't like it.
Oh, that I hate that so much. She's like, you need to go change your shirt. That's not part of the agreement. You the agreement was you need to come as 50s. You want to show that you're loyal to me and you want to prove yourself, you need to prove yourself. This man rushed out of that building so fast for Lily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't respect that. Me personally, I don't respect that at all. Because all this is going to prove is that if they get together, she's running the show.
Of course.
She is going to dictate what he does, how he does it. He's going to constantly jump through hoops for her in a relationship. And nobody should ever want to do that. Like,
No,
it's one thing to want to cater to your person, but to jump through hoops in hopes they would look at you differently is beyond me. I couldn't do that.
I agree. I agree. Just like I showed you guys a couple of podcasts ago, where on Reddit they pretty much had that whole post about him being a wuss. They turned this
Yeah.
man into a weak man. He created a purpose for his family. Now, granted, the AI program is illegal, right? However, he made money outside of the AI program. Remember, the AI program hadn't even been used, so the other multi billions came from his other corporate businesses, which was legit. Did she not see that part?
Well, I guess anything that's kept a secret from her is betraying her. Which I'm like, ma'am, you've kept plenty of secrets too. About that secret that you kept from Billy when he went to his mama to trash him so you can keep your job position.
Yeah. Did you see
She,
Brooklyn? Oh, sorry, I thought you were done, girl.
what did she say?
Brooklyn Renner said Kane is worse of a wimp than Liam is.
Mm, that's saying a lot. I feel like Lily is her own. Well, Kane is his own species. Like I don't know what this is. He's the new waffle king. I do know that, but
Mm-hmm.
this man, like, and I hate to say it, was he ever a man at all? Like I it feels like his daddy was running the show for him to get his billions. And even now, like this the fact that this man, 2 weeks ago, crawled to Victor and said, like, you know what? I admit defeat. You won. Can you give me pennies on the dollar for my company? What?
Yeah, I
Really?
mean,
So
yeah.
all of your fortune is wrapped up with Arabesque. You have nothing else. I guess he still owns GCAC because I think Lily said that. And maybe he has like a little side money here and there, but you lost all of your billions.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, you have no problem getting down and kissing a ring
Girl, I
like
just,
everybody else.
I hate that. I really do. I mean, right now, Adam and Victor are standing on top of the mountain. Jack is scrambling.
Adam,
Huh?
you think Adam is standing on top of the mountain
Yeah,
with his
alongside
daddy?
him as a lapdog.
Okay, yeah,
And the
yep.
rest of
He,
them, I mean, the Winters are hiding out quietly. We haven't seen or heard anything where they're damaged, but I don't think that they're as big as Newman Enterprises. They're just another
mm-mm.
company in town. Jack is the next biggest rival, and you see what's going on over there. And Kane, who could have been the biggest one in town, just poof. It took 6 months to get rid of 6 years of his fortune.
Yeah, there could have been so many different directions they could have wrote this character and
Mm-hmm.
how they use that AI software. Like, I don't understand why they couldn't use the AI software for good. Or they create, especially since he was sleeping around with the hacker of Genoa City.
Mm-hmm.
You created a program that will beat a software like this because it's unlike it's unlike anything we've ever heard before. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of companies, a lot of businesses would pay for that. You would have been multi billionaire.
Right, and they can
But
tweak it. Even like he and see, here's the thing, Bree. At one point, they tried to create an extension in the storyline where he wanted to change the whole program to use it for good, but then they wrote it where Phyllis talked him out of it. Yep. And then she turn
yeah,
around and steal it and get screwed. We got a lot to talk about with that because then she gets screwed in the process, which I don't know if you guys checked that out. I did a standalone video this week. That standalone
yeah.
video this week talked about how nobody gets the lesson in this town about Victor Newman. Out of everybody who gets in line to think that they're different, they all get the same outcome. And then somebody else getting that same line, seeing what happened to the people in front of them, and end up figuring that it won't happen to them.
And Josh Griffin, we know you're in love with Victor. I'll say that. I feel that you're in love with Victor. How is there no balance to where this man does not fall at all for any of his actions? He comes out unscathed for a lot of the crap that he does. And it doesn't seem like there's any growth within this character. And it makes him come off very intolerable. Because it's like, how does Victor keep getting away with it? Like the stuff even with Audra, which I know we'll cover. Audra's getting majority of the blame for Victor's plan to break up Claire and Kyle,
Yep.
which is crazy. Um, like so many different things. Everyone is getting the blame for this. And I guarantee this stuff going on with the AI software, Phyllis is going to get the blame, even though Victor caused the destruction.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Josh Griffin. You please do better. Like there needs to be a balance within these characters. Well, within one character, please.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit on a lighter note. What did you all think about and of course I'm talking to you, Bree, but also the chat. What did y'all think about the
Mhm.
fashions at the 50s party?
I don't know what Kane had on.
Well,
It's
yeah, that's for starters, but we saw Nate with this hat and
he looked so good.
you
I love the whole look with the hat and everything. He looked really, really good. The dress that Phyllis had on, boy, it's like every outfit is like painted for her.
I thought
Um,
she had her own stylist. That's what I heard years back. That
okay,
yeah, her clothing stuff, she has her own stylist, which makes sense. I can tell.
yeah, money well spent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everything. She looked really beautiful. Um, and then what Daniel just came with the plaid shirt. So I'm like, okay, you didn't change at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to remember how Sally's dress looked.
It's right there.
I
It's
think it was,
three. It's the picture with her and Billy. She had on that blue dress.
oh, yeah, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful color. I love the dress. And I think Victoria looked really good too. So not bad. Um, Somebody posted a picture of Abby online saying that she looked like the material girl.
Oh my God. Well, here's the thing, because I'm looking at the chat and a couple of folks were saying that it was boring and pathetic, and I did see on social media that a lot of people did not find the 50s fashion I guess, interesting. So,
Diane's dress was terrible, and Diane has had beautiful gowns, beautiful dresses. This was the, this was, what was this? It was like Cruella DeVille meets the 50s or something. I did not know what this was.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I tend I like the fashions from the 1930s and 40s, in my opinion. I love the golden age of Hollywood type styles with the long flowy dresses, and it fit very feminine and things like that. I would have loved that they did that, but honestly, this was about media and television tend to come out in the 1950s, so I get it. But I don't know, the 50s era is just really not my vibe, you know? So it was
Mm-hmm.
okay. It was okay. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. In my opinion. But I've seen them when they really dress up for parties and stuff, that they really look good. I just wasn't a big fan of the whole thing. But oh well, it is what it is. Well, because it blew up because now that Jack went offline, we saw Michael have a conversation or got a sit down with Victor, only to tell him that Jack took the company offline, and that was his counter move to what he projected with the AI system. And so Michael actually thought that by telling him this, that he had normal moves. Well, I talked about this like 2, 3 weeks ago, and I said they could get him in the court of public opinion, and sure enough, that's what they used. So I don't know if they were listening to the podcast,
They listened to you, girl.
because that's exactly what they did. And I remember you telling me this one in the group chat last Friday. You was like, "Girl, you called it." And
Yes, you did.
that's exactly what Victor did. Michael thought that he had no more moves, and that since he took the company offline, that okay, you can't attack it with anything. Well, he attacked it with the media and used during the time while everybody was distracted at the launch party to attack Jack and the company. And that's the look on his face at the top left corner.
Mm, mm, mm. He is one of the fakest friends on the show right now
Who? Oh,
because,
Michael. Yes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Michael, because as much as he cries about, like, oh, I love Jack, I love Diane, this is like my family, blah, 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 you have no problem still doing Victor's bidding. Wasn't
Mm-hmm.
he only supposed to help when it came to Noah and looking that stuff up? When
Correct.
did they shift him over to planting moles in his friend's company for Victor?
Exactly.
And then instead of giving your friend Jack a heads up, you give Victor a heads up.
Right.
So, and then flash forward to Friday's episode, which we'll get to.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You're going to sit there in front of Diane as she's telling you this, and you know you helped orchestrate it.
Right.
But the fact that he thought this was going to stop Victor, is he is butthurt and upset over what happened last year. Well, actually, almost like a year and a half ago, right?
Girl, that was early 24. So it was about a
Boy,
year and a half, almost 2 years coming up in the next few months.
we're entering 2026. This man is still mad, and you thought this was going to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
The pettiest man of them all.
Yep.
But this is the friend that he's loyal to.
Yep. That's his friend. And it sucks because then you got right beside Jack up there is Phyllis trying to figure out what's going on. And she's been the gaslighting lying queen for the past month and a half when it comes to this whole hack and this deal with Victor. You're lying to your son, you lied to Kane, you're lying to Jack, you trying to sneak up next to him talking about what happened, what's going on. And then you get mad when you found out that the company is being under attack. And you expect Victor to be like, oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to stick it to Jack. I didn't want to destroy Jabot. She was stupid to believe that this man was going to give her a company fully functioning if he was going to attack Jack and Jabot.
Yeah. And once again, writers, you had an opportunity to, even if you didn't want to elevate the Kane character, you guys could have elevated Phyllis's character. Like, Victor was an enemy for her for years.
Mm-hmm.
How interesting would it have been for her to extract funds and crush Newman Enterprises? Out of all the people, she would have reigned supreme over all of them. That would have been a shift, and also get Victor to sit down. Like, what was the purpose of this AI software at this point? I This had so many loopholes. They have shift course with this storyline, and now we have Phyllis. We know Phyllis is going to be Phyllis, but for her to be the hacker and to put trust, any trust, whatever, with Victor, thinking he's going to stick by his deal, that is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't get
And
that part.
yeah, it's once again, why did they have this Victor character win all the time?
But my thing is,
Y-
it makes everybody in town look dumb.
Yes, it does.
It makes them all look dumb. And there's a piece that you really made a good point on, which we'll talk about because you brought up the fact that Michael didn't give Jack a heads up. Somebody else
Mm-hmm.
didn't give Jack a heads up knowing what they were supposed to be doing. Instead, decided to go to bed. And I'm going to let you have that one because you really ate her up in the chat when you brought that
Oh
up.
my
And
god.
it didn't dawn on me until I heard you talk about it. But I'm going to give you the space to go ahead and rant on that. But Phyllis should have known better. First of all, you hate this man. Why would you
Mm-hmm.
go and get involved in a deal like this with the man that you hate? Now, I could see if she wanted to do this to set him up, plant the AI program over there, and then throw him under the bus, then that would make sense, writers. But no, you wanted to make a deal where he just hand over Jabot to her.
And then she's gonna end up with nothing. Well,
Nothing.
here's the thing:
Mm-hmm.
the Abbotts want to make a deal with this woman, because I think that was what, Wednesday's episode, Thursday's episode, something like that.
Yep.
And she asked for Marchetti for her
Mm-hmm.
daughter, and this is after her son was browbeating her. To be honest, and think about someone else but herself. She could have had them write a blank check, and she put whatever dollar amount on there. She chose her daughter at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But for Phyllis to still, like, after speaking with Victor, and now the Abbotts want you to try to get the software and destroy it. After all of that, she still says that she has a plan up her sleeve. I'm like, is that to save face? Or what is your plan? Because it seems like you're about to have absolutely nothing after stealing the software and also helping Victor basically torpedo the company you were vying to work for.
Okay, so let's give an optimistic view. Let's just hope for this because I know I see Brooklyn said that she was disappointed that the writers couldn't give her number one girl Phyllis a win. Why make a deal
Yeah.
with somebody that don't have a plan? So she obviously either has a kill switch or she know how to rehack into it. Now, there is one thing that was it Kyle or Billy said at the Abbott house was maybe Victor had his IT team put up some more firewalls around it to make it harder to penetrate. But she has something. If she's
Yeah.
negotiating to say, hey, all I ask if you give full autonomy of Marchetti to my daughter, which I was like, that's it. And obviously, that's what we saw on Monday when, Billy told, spoiler alert, when Billy told Jack, that's all. They was like, that's it. To save the big company, give up a little piece and give it all
Summer.
to Summer. Yeah, why not? I didn't see an issue with that. So she has something, whether maybe she has the master key, I'll just call it that, to the whole puzzle to shut the darn thing down.
Mm,
Because if she didn't have anything and she's bluffing, it's a waste.
I don't think she's
I
bluffing.
don't
I
think
think she's
so
always
either.
had that kill switch.
Yep. And Victor don't
So
know it.
that is true. Something I'm hoping for the best for Phyllis. I
Hmm.
genuinely do. I'm so sick of some of these characters catching L's. Um,
Some of them are
and
choosing L's and the other ones are catching them.
true, true.
Hmm.
But the way that they've written the Phyllis character since Michelle Safford came back is crazy to me. This woman had a whole hotel to herself.
Hmm.
And then she had this woman trying to job hunt, make deals and do this and scheme and like just let this character be. Let her actually be the success that she should be. And here's the thing: she's a she's a well-known hacker. You have Sharon, who has a tech company,
Hmm.
and that's supposed to be her bestie. Why is she not trying to work over there?
Yeah, we were talking about that last week, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't
That
make sense.
that
And that's part of some of the things that, with that whole yearly review we're going to do, oh, we're going to bring up, I'm going to have a list of details.
all of these loose ends.
Right.
Like Sharon has a whole company. She didn't even think about the company. Mariah was supposed to be helping her run it, and we don't even know where Mariah is. We know she's at some facility. We don't know where.
Yeah, so who's running the company? That's the other thing. We got the piece of this LA crap that's going on right now in General City this week too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lord.
Yeah, so cuz there's some other parts we got to talk about. Um go ahead and talk about the fact like you mentioned Bree about Michael, instead of when he found out that they were going to release that hit piece, somebody was coming down the stairs listening to the whole conversation. So both of their so-called friends dropped the ball. Go ahead, Bree.
Boy, if there was ever a fake friend on the show, I was saying it was Michael. No, it's Nikki. She knows that she is the center of all the issues for the Abbotts. She knows that the longer that she stays friends with Jack, it's everything has torpedoed for this man. And she had one job, one, and she was able to catch Victor right then and there, come down the stairs and confront him. And she could have made that statement that she made this Friday. She could have made that episode. But no, what did she decide to do? Well, she decided to go take a nap. You go to the GCAC. This man is sharing all of these problems. You're like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had the opportunity to confront my husband. I I would have, but I was tired. I went to go sleep.
Right.
Your friend is under attack. If it was reciprocated, Jack would have wasted no time to try to protect Nikki and her family.
Yep.
None. You thought, oh, this is going to pass and Victor's going to eventually do the right thing. He knows this is going to affect Jack and his family, but I'm going to go to sleep. Jack was mad for a split second, and then he flipped it and said, you know what? It's okay. It happens. What do
Well,
you mean?
exactly. There's a third person who dropped that ball too.
Adam.
Yep. You suppose,
And
and he called it out.
so all that anger.
Mm-hmm.
that you had towards Adam and Chelsea for writing the article, you have no smoke whatsoever for the woman that lays right next to Victor. None. And on top of that, she has always been a fake friend because unless it serves her best interest, she doesn't care what happened to Jack. There were so many different things that happened to Jack that she knew about. Her son, Jack's son, committing corporate espionage. The fact that Victor was placing moles into the company. She knew about all of it. And what did she do? She carried on. Anytime Victor gave her a gift, she looked the other way. She didn't care. And I think the one person who called her out was Lauren, because Nikki was like, well, Michael should stick around Victor, to help him. And he loves him to some degree, but it's in our best interest as a family to keep Michael around and to rein Victor in. And she was like, you can't even rein your own husband in, but you want to put my husband in the line of fire. She said something like that.
And see
But
this,
she got Nikki together.
and this is
Oh, I'm sorry,
where
Lord.
Bree. This is where I have that they between Billy and Jack and how they talked to Diane in this week. Diane was screaming to the mountaintops about how fake these people are, and they just like yeah
Yeah,
yeah yeah, but they're our biggest. They can help us. How?
he he put the trust in Nikki to get that AI software,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that Victor was going to just put it in her hands because she asked for it. I'm like, I used to love Jack, but he has just been dumb as of late.
Yeah, I don't understand what this soft spot is when it comes to her. What is that? And I understand that they're friends, they were married before, but are you low key still
In love
romantically
with her?
something that you're
I think
willing?
so.
It's something there that you would almost die for this woman when you already got a wife at home. What is wrong with you? I don't know who's
Yeah,
worse. Um, Michael is another one that would die for Victor, and you got a whole wife and you got sons and stuff out there. What is wrong with y'all?
I, boy, these, I, I would have loved for Diane to be a fly on the wall of that conversation between Nikki and Jack at that table,
Girl, she would have been hotter than
because
fish grease.
yes, she would have. She would have called Nikki out right then and there and been like, look, you need to decide if that's your friend, or you here, or you're going to ride with your family, because we told you cannot trust her. You cannot rely on her. She proved it right there. You could have walked right down the stairs, but instead you went to go upstairs, take your jewelry off, take your makeup off, and you chose to get in some luxury sheets and go to sleep
Yep. Oh Lord,
while your
yeah.
friend was under attack.
Yep. That was crazy to me. And and it kind of went past me a little bit because I saw it, but when you called it out, because I was so mad at Adam and Michael. I'm like, y'all couldn't go and tell this man, even if Adam was going to write the story, which of course he did, he could have been like, listen, I'm about to do something. I heard about your company. I'm about to do something. No, you go ahead and do it anyway. And expect that, oh, we're friends. And then let's move to that conversation at Crimson Lights. You got Jack who pretty much let Nikki off the hook, like you just said, Bree. But then you read the
Mm-hmm.
riot act to Chelsea and Adam.
He was like, I expected so much from you as a friend, but then again, like, you both are criminals, the things that you've done to people in this town, and He was like, the fact that you guys have no care in the world for the employees who are about to lose their jobs. And you guys know this is because of Victor and that night that happened and blah, 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 blah. He had a lot to say to Adam and then he stormed off. Where is this energy for Nikki?
Yep.
Your friend.
And then we, on the flip side, we had Chelsea try to hold Adam accountable as well, talking about, we're better than this. We need to set an example for our son. And I know you and I had a conversation about this in the group chat about, her past, right? But if you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to do better, especially when you're raising kids and you want to set an example, I can give her credit for that, for not wanting to go down this path, because he didn't tell her. She found out just like Victoria did at the launch party.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at the same
he found
time,
out.
it's 50-50, Bree, because y'all work for Victor. You knew what you were signing up for. He owns the company. So, of course, when he say do, you going to have to do or you get a pink slip.
And didn't he get Chelsea together? Because
Yeah.
she came in hot and she said,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, um, you guys should gave me a heads up. I had to deal with everyone's anger and the fallout and everything. It's like, was it really necessary for you to go after Jack and blah 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 blah?" Victor was like, "I don't have to give you a heads up. I own the company. You do
Exactly.
as I say."
Yep.
And she shut right up.
Which is why, if you guys have been with us on this podcast since we were on Anchor, before we moved over to YouTube, which goes back to 2019, you all probably remember Keisha and I saying that Adam need to start his own separate company. Not in rival or whatever, because therefore he can call the shots. Now, of course, Victor probably wouldn't be happy with that because he wants to play Monopoly. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that you cannot think to have autonomy in a situation when somebody else is writing the checks and calling the shots.
Yeah, I don't understand how this man has Harvard business law experience. I'm pretty sure this man had money in the bank. He doesn't need to work underneath Victor. He shouldn't have to be vying for a job opportunity. But once again, they just have to be up underneath this man
But that's
on
what it
his
is,
property
Bree.
too.
Think about it like this. When it comes to Adam, Kane, Jack, and let's see, who else could I throw in there? These men that, and Michael, it's all emotion. The logic goes out the
Mm-hmm.
door. Kane, when he was is consistently focused on his goal, that's how he got to where he was. The moment he let emotion in, it destroyed everything. And I'm not saying emotion is a bad thing, because obviously it was given to us as part of us as humans. But it's how you
Mm-hmm.
manage it, and don't let
Yep.
any other person manipulate it.
Yep. I think you said it best. I forget when it was. 10% is what happens to you, 90% is how you react to it
Exactly.
and how you move going forward. And I'm just, I could understand how Jack feels. I get
Mhm.
that. I can understand even how Kane's wimpy self feels.
Mhm.
But the lines that Adam has crossed to try to become a better person, have a relationship with both of his siblings,
Mhm.
try to be on the right path for his son. You're allowing your daddy to drag you down, and he's dangling the ranch, like the other house on the compound. He's dangling the CEO position over at Newman Media. And didn't he write a contract to where Victor can't tell him what to do? But what we see now is he's still telling him what
What
to
to
do.
do? Exactly.
You're
Yep.
on a good path. You got money. You're not a broke man at all. You can start your own business and not have to deal with Victor. That
Mhm.
is always still a choice.
Yep.
So
But but
He,
see, that the problem is, Bree, is that that's where that emotion comes in. Like you say, he's a Harvard business student. He's smart. He got the money. The problem is that he wants the acceptance of his dad. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's
at
wrong when
all.
it becomes toxic.
Yeah. And he picks him to do all of his misdeeds and then chooses Nick to save the day.
Yep.
You notice that?
Yeah, he it's like playing chess on a chessboard. That's why he loves chess
Mm-hmm.
so much. Each pawn on that board has a certain function. And he moves Adam for certain things, he moves Victoria for certain things. Nikki is the queen, I guess for now. Um and then, Adam is the other pawn or the rook on the board who's moving all over the place. So this dude is like, but the reason that it works so well with Michael,
Mm-hmm.
with Adam, is because there's emotion attached to it. Victor he's not an emotional person. All of his decisions are strictly selfish and emotionless. That's why he's able to maneuver, because he cut through other people's emotions, manipulate them to get what he want done, which is his goal. The only time you see
I actually,
emotion out of him is when somebody piss him
mm-hmm.
off and he don't get what he want.
I actually think the opposite. I think with him going after Jack, especially now, there's a lot of emotion attached because it had to do with his wife. He is it's a sore spot when anything happens between Jack and Nikki.
You think
And
that's
this
what it
man
has
is
to do with that,
operating,
girl? You think
he
so?
is operating off of emotion. He's still petty to this day about what happened in that hotel room. And I think that he's sensing something that we're sensing with Jack, that he still has feelings for Nikki
I
because
don't
he
even
went
think
out of
it's
his way.
that. I think it's ego. I think
That too.
he was pissed off that Jack was the one that saved her life and not him. That's what I think,
I
because he
agree with
could
that
care
too.
less if that girl walk out the door. Now, yes, it would have hurt him, but he was like goodbye. So, and we got to get into that. But girl, we spent on the Newmans most of the show. We still got to talk about Audra and the LA folks. Um,
Oh, that
but
LA mess. I'm so sick of
yeah,
it.
I'm sick of the girl. Please, I could care less about it. But we got to talk about it because it's part of the storylines on the
Oh, yeah,
show.
yeah.
But because I said this in the group chat. I'm like, if you so butthurt about what happened in that hotel, then why would you care less if the woman is there in your life or not? You told her to leave. I don't care. Nobody tell me what to do. Nobody put threats on my plate. And so my thing is, I think it's more of winning with him. It's an ego trip. He's mad that he was the one that actually got her sobriety back and not him.
Yep. I think I think it has that, but the fact that this man cannot move on from that one specific night, everything has been a torpedo effect, from getting Kyle over to working at Newman and committing corporate espionage to trying to find ways to torpedo Jabot and torpedo
Mm-hmm.
Jack's marriage. Everything was based off of that night that happened, when he helped Nikki with her sobriety. Everything. It's like you would have thought that Nikki and Jack had slept together in that hotel.
So remember, um, we always call Victor the character. Eric Braden is an
Mm-hmm.
excellent actor, so this ain't got nothing to do with him. But we
Mm-hmm.
call the Victor character a narcissist. Textbook.
Oh yeah.
One thing about narcissistic people or persons with NPD is the fact that they have no empathy. He could care less about what happened with Jack in that room. He was like, I would have left you here to die. That man has an injury in that moment. That was a one. Okay, so in a relationship, you got an empath, and then you have the narcissist. The empath is solely emotionally dependent on that narcissist. Once that empath decides to deviate, it becomes a narcissistic injury. Now he's
Mm-hmm.
injured, and that's where the narcissistic rage come from, which has been a history of it for the past 2 years. This man was, his ego was injured in that point that this man, another man, risked his life to give her the sobriety back, and it wasn't him. He has to be the center of attention, and it wasn't him able to do that. And especially, it was the empath that was so solely dependent on him. She got that from somebody else. And this
Mm-hmm.
man has been raging for the last 18, almost 24 months.
And his wife really made sure he was butthurt in Friday's episode. She said, if you don't give me the AI software and you don't stop this war with the Abbotts, I'm gonna leave. And he was like, oh, so you're gonna leave because
Mm-hmm.
of him? He's like,
Mm-hmm.
get out. Boy, that scared the mess out of me.
Girl, cause Eric Braden put some power behind them words, and I'm like, dang, I would have liked to actually seen them film that scene to see what Melody's response. They probably laughed about it afterward.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. But she really thought that he loved her more than he hates Jack.
Right,
And that moment right there proved that, honey, he can always get a new wife.
right. That's what I'm saying. That's why there's no empathy there. She was hoping that he
Mm-hmm.
would be like Kane. That the moment that
Yeah.
she pulled away, that he was gonna be like, "Oh, okay, I'll do whatever you say. Don't leave." That's not who that. Yeah, narcissists have
Mm-mm.
no feeling whatsoever. None. There's no emotion
No.
there. They're empty.
Well, maybe that makes him a better billionaire than Kane ever
Well, that
was.
because they're thinkers. One thing, and obviously you guys can tell I love psychology. My oldest actually has a minor. Well, her undergrad was in psychology. We talk about this stuff all the time, but he's textbook. The way that this character is set up, whoever wrote it, they wrote a textbook narcissist. They don't care about
Mm-mm.
nothing. They don't care who they hurt, who they step on. It's about them and what they want and them being the center of attention. And I will manipulate. I would even take somebody else's heart to continue to live on this planet. Colleen.
Yeah, and it did nothing for him.
Nope. You got a heart in your body that of a 20, 30-year old. Mm-hmm. And you figure you going to be just as cold as ice because his personality hasn't changed.
His personality hasn't changed. So that girl lost her life,
Mm-hmm.
and um, Tracy was gracious enough to give you her daughter's heart, and you paid Tracy back by going after her family's company and
Yep.
after her brother.
Yep, they don't care nothing about that. That's the difference between him and Eric. Eric has emotion.
Yes, he does.
Victor is the antithesis of Eric Forrester.
Yep.
All right, girl, we gotta talk about this LA stuff right quick, and then Audra is I don't you mentioned something in the group chat with Audra. You think that she's going off into the sunset?
The way it's written, it doesn't seem like she's positioned the best way, because they keep saying you have no man, you have no romance, you might as well leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this stuff is going to work out with Abby Communications, because she had to sit down with Sally, and she told her, well, she guessed that it was Jill, and Sally said, well, we're going to set up a meeting so you can have,
Mm-hmm.
a job position over there. I don't think it's going to work out in her favor. And then you have Claire and Kyle, who's trying to extract information. And you have Sienna, who's going to probably work with Claire to oust Audra. It just seems like something's about to happen to this girl. I don't want Zalika Silver to leave at all.
Yeah, well, if
Um,
she do put on Beyond the Gates, maybe it's Tomas's sister or something,
I would be okay with it. I'm good with that. I'm
or
great with
to,
that,
or
actually.
Tomas's ex. I don't know.
She would be, or Isaiah's ex.
Yeah,
That
that
would have been
too.
hot.
That too. Maybe
But
she'll be Isaiah's ex.
there's plenty of like ways that they can definitely utilize the Audra character. Maybe they won't get rid of her, but just have her transition over to Beyond the Gates. But it doesn't seem like things are working out in this girl's favor. She has caught more L's in a short period of time
But
than
some of those
anybody
were her
else.
own bad decision making. It wasn't like it was a stray.
Mm-hmm.
She could
At
have had a
all.
company of her own.
And that's the part that gets me with her and Phyllis. Fully funded companies, and they say no, they rather have job positions. That is crazy. But yeah, like she's worked for the Newmans 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for Chancellor, worked for the Winters. She's had, and then of course worked for Tucker McCall. All these different opportunities, and she's fallen flat on her face. She's got like 5 body counts in the short 3 years that she's been on the show. Like, and you have access to all of these rich men
Mm-hmm.
and have nothing to show for it.
Nope. Nope.
But at
And
the same
she's
time, this is why she and Sally are friends, because she was running the same numbers.
exactly.
Because she went from one set of billionaire sons to the other set of billionaire sons. Then you're coming over to Billy. That's 5 right there in a short period of time.
Did you see Sawana Jenkins' comment? She said pair her with Thomas over at the Bold and the Beautiful.
Baby, that, oh, that would be hot and
That would be
spicy.
fire. You hear me?
Yes, that would. And that would drive Hope
It crazy.
crazy. I would love to see writers, producers. Don't you dare get rid of Zalika Silver. She's awesome. She's amazing. We love the actress.
Mm-hmm.
Character can be annoying, but have her win. Like, there's only things that could probably save this girl at this point. Like, if Noah starts catching feelings for her again, or since Victor kicked out Nikki, she might be the new wife. That would be
Mm-hmm.
karma. I
Oh
almost
my
want that to happen.
God.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like things are going well for the Audra characters. Like she's on her way out. At
Look
least
at
is how
what
it looks to me.
Gail said. Audra and Phyllis should have been together to get their own business. Is that what she's saying? Audra and Phyllis should have been got their own businesses. They had well, Phyllis had a
Yes.
business. She had
Yeah.
the Grand Phoenix, and she gave it
A
up.
whole hotel.
She had a whole hotel business and gave it up. And then Audra,
Audra.
she could have had Glissade from Tucker free and clear, but she wanted to stick it to him by teaming up with Victor, and Victor stuck it to her. So
You know what makes no sense with Phyllis, at least?
mm,
Nick, before she even got obsessed with Aristotle Dumas,
mm-hmm.
Nick was like, look, I'll fund you your company. Whatever it is, I got the pockets for it. Whatever you need, I'll fund it for you. She
Mm-hmm.
said no to that.
Yep.
That was crazy. She was talking about like, oh, I need to find a job. I need to find a job. Nick was about to give you your own business.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Come on. And you know he's at least good for it.
Yep. He did it before. Somebody gave her some money.
Yes.
He gave that. It was Nick that gave her a loan, and she paid it back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't he help out the mother of his child? He wanted to do that. He got $500 million to sit in his account, not doing nothing.
I don't know. These were they just, and then she walk around. And they had this whole thing, especially at some point, Sally, when they were when Sally was on bad terms with Billy and Audra was having her issues with Nate, and they talking about we don't need these men. These are the same people that was giving y'all lifelines. You got
Yeah.
Sally company is called Abbott Communications. You got it from Billy and his mama.
Yep.
And then on the
Exactly.
flip side, you could have worked over. Nate was trying to get you over at Winters. Another man
Mm-hmm.
by the name of Tucker tried to give you a whole company, but you want to sit up and sing that song. How's that working for you? How's that working for you?
I'm a strong, independent. Don't need you guys to fund my company. I will get a job on my own. This boy, if some, and this is the part that I know we'll get to Katie here in a second. My man offers me a business so I could go to
Girl,
work. I can work for myself. What? These
girl,
ladies
just
on this show.
it's like it's some. It's just as it's speechless because I don't know what to say when it comes to the thought processes of people having a full business in front of them, but you let stupidity and bad emotions or using bad decisions to get in your way of that. And now you sitting out there floating, and then Sally tried to give a lifeline to say, "Look, let me try to set something up with Jill, but you gotta stop obsessing over this thing with Claire and Kyle." And she sat at that table and ranted about those two for the majority of the time.
I mean, and this is where I got to defend Tempur-Pedic, as Jasmine Williams said. She said Tempur-Pedic and Filthy would crash and burn any business they had. But here's the thing. Audra was pretty much minding her own business. It's Claire and Kyle who are trying to pry and try to get her out of town. Because just as much as they live rent free in her head, she lives rent free in both Claire and Kyle's head too.
Well, the difference is that Claire has a job and Kyle has a job. She needs to
They
back
had
off
family
that
fortune.
and a family fortune. Audra has no job. So in the meantime, I get it that they've been poking the bear, but you're trying to get employment, ma'am. And the CEO of Abbott Communications is saying, listen, I'm going to work out something for you. I think that's the conversation you need to be having right now.
Mm, mm, mm.
But no, I see what you're saying because yes, I do agree with that, Bree. Claire is went all the way to L.A. to talk to Sienna and anybody who would answer her questions about Audra Cortez, right?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, she come back to town talking crazy. Both of them had that whole smackdown over at Society last week. Um, but right now we talking business. I need you to get your
Yeah.
head in the game. Put that on the back burner and let's see if we can get you
Mm-hmm.
in here.
Yep. I'm I agree with that. But hopefully this is gonna keep her make sure she sticks around or something. Um because the character is actually great. The
Mhm.
actress is great.
Mhm.
Once again, it's just the writing
Right.
direction for her is she's getting more heat and still catching L's. Like usually with an antagonist on the show, they catch wins, and it's usually always the opposite where they're trying to, you know,
Mhm.
crush the antagonist. But I don't know, something weird with the balance of the show. Same thing with like the Leslie character on Beyond the Gates. It needs to be a balance. Like they need to fall from great spousal, like have the wins where you see the enemy winning. I don't know, but anyway,
Yeah.
let's please keep the character alive. And since Noah's in town, he was looking star-eyed when he saw her. Maybe that might be her saving grace.
Yeah, well, Noah is just as bad as Cain. Um
Boy, this is the dumbest boy I ever
he
seen on
is
TV.
so girl, his nose is so wide open when it comes to Sienna. You still haven't broken to Allie that they're not in a relationship anymore. You in a whole nother country. She's way back out there in Europe somewhere. And you're down here almost getting killed over a woman who is married to your mother and father's uh, how can I
enemy.
describe him? What you say? Attacker.
It, yeah,
And you
and I'm like,
go ahead. We trying to get it out, girl.
I'm I'll go ahead because I'm gonna say a
Girl, well,
lot.
my thing is that Sh- Sharon is trying to play nice. They all up in this woman's house, just kissing and carrying on. Y'all, it's like, listen, I'm gonna need you to clean up what's going on with Allie before you come all up in my house doing all this unfinished business stuff with somebody else's wife. Second of all,
Right.
y'all need to lay low. And both Sharon, because I'm not going to exclude her, she was like, oh, I'm going to run out and do some things and I'll be back. And y'all waiting for Mitch Matt to come to town. Y'all ain't heard from Nick all this point until I have some things to say about him too. She says, stay here until I get back. And this man was like, nope, we're not going anywhere. The moment Sharon walked out that door, he hightailed it up out of there, and now you got bashed upside the head. I felt zero sympathy for that. Zero.
Mm-mm, me either. This man, he's like, I'm going to show you my hometown. You can't show her through some pictures. Why are you stressing about the security detail and making sure Sienna doesn't leave? But you feel just because she's with you that she's going to be safe. You take her to the coffee shop. You take her to public places. You don't know who is on Matt's payroll to be looking at you guys.
Girl, that was so.
You are a big old dummy
You can't have it
talking
both ways.
and exactly.
You.
You're like, well, we don't even know he's in town, but I want to show you around, show you where I lived, where I grew up, and we're gonna have our coffee and get everyone to get to know you. You brought this red flag to your family's compound. So your family is on alert. You don't care about your siblings, your little sister. You don't care about like this man possibly coming up to your property because we know Jordan, we know Cameron Kirsten, we know Ian Ward, and I forget the other, there was like a fourth person too, who's able to pop up and sneak onto the property and try to attack any one of your family members, including your mother, who was a victim. You completely disregard, they put safety precautions because you brought the red flag here and you have no problem acting like a man and beating your chest and trying to be smart to your father and anyone who you feel disrespects Sienna, but you can't be man enough to go break up with your girlfriend over in London.
Right. And who is
He
that?
can really
Gail?
miss me with that.
Gail said Noah should have explained to Jack and his family about Allie. I can't wait to hear
He
about
can
that.
he can't even explain to Allie what he's been doing. He can't be man enough to break up with this girl.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You
You
know.
you ready to fight this man who tried to unalive you twice.
Yeah, but he remember
Twice.
he said that he can handle. Oh, I'm not afraid of him. Dude tried to
Then
make you
what's the
take
security detail
fentanyl.
for?
He tried to make you take fentanyl to make it what? Y'all were
If
locked
I
in.
was
Go ahead, girl.
girl, if I was Nick and Sharon, I would have left Sienna and no one in LA and have him deal with Matt all on his own.
Yeah, that
Because you're
is
not bringing
crazy.
that over to my family compound where it's going to affect both of your little siblings.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even understand this part either. So Nick finally comes home and says that, hey, we saw that Mitch Matt is in town and we saw him on surveillance. You call Noah, but didn't tell him that the man is in town?
Yeah, that was, I'm
I
like,
didn't get that part because he said before he made that phone call that Noah needs to know. Okay, you get Noah. I didn't think Noah was going to answer the phone, but he did. And you asked him, what are you doing? How about you tell him, look, we found out Mitch Matt is in town. You need to get back to the ranch. But no, you didn't tell him that. You get off the phone and boom, he get bust upside the head.
As he should. This is the third time he got busted up in his head. The first time he was ran off the road and he had to have emergency surgery and brain hemorrhage and emergency coma and all these different things. This boy, nothing, nothing is getting through to that thick skull.
Nope, not at
But
all.
but he's in love with Sienna, and she could be braiding his mother's hair.
Girl.
They so close in age, they could be besties.
Yep. Yep, yep,
And
yep.
you kissing Sienna all up in your mother's house. Really?
Mm-hmm. I wish they could. Someone, I wish they could bring Allie back too and have a conversation. But Jack got so much stuff going on right now. He's simping for Nikki, so.
You know who could have uh, gave them a heads up? Would have been Claire. Could have gave Kyle a heads up.
Ooh, we
What?
didn't talk about that part. Kyle tried to tell Claire what was going on, and she was like, "Well, I don't think my grandpa would do that. Do you really think he would do that?" Well, Jack did that on his own. I'm like, girl,
Mm-hmm. You see who she loyal to? Right
yeah,
there.
until they got confirmation from her mom and her grandma and Victor himself.
Yep. And then the stuff going on with Noah and Sienna, she knows that Allie is Kyle's niece.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to give Kyle a heads up before he sees uh, Noah and Sienna are walking around kissing. You don't want to give this man that you said that that you loved a heads up. See, she's loyal to the Newmans. Newmans are going to be loyal to each other only.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be fake friends to everybody else. That's why I don't understand like why they go so hard, why other families go so hard for them.
Yep. So,
Mm,
girl, did we cover everything?
I think we did. We had to get that out of our chest.
Oh
Boy, I
Lord, it
cannot
was. But you
stand
know
Noah.
what? That's the good thing about this past week when it gives us a lot to talk about because we've had weeks on weeks of Y&R that were mostly fillers that we really didn't have much
Yeah,
to talk about. And this one week gave us everything that we need for this dialogue. We spent an hour and 15 minutes, which is not common on Y&R.
yep. So good job, good job, but frustrating us YNR.
Exactly. All right. How many likes we got? I need to start checking on that. I always check on how many you know, we got a lot of
Well, we
likes.
actually got 62 watching, but we got 41
Oh,
likes.
nice. What is that? Almost 70, 80%?
Mm-hmm. Hit
Okay.
the like button, y'all. If you haven't, we appreciate it.
Yeah, let's see if we can get it close to 100%. If it's 60 of you guys in here, let's see if we can get it at least to 50 likes. 50, 55 likes. So somebody's watching, haven't hit the like button. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we are now moving on to the bold and the beautiful for the
Now that
week.
number jumped as soon as you said that.
What did it jump to?
72.
72 likes?
No, 72 people in the chat. It just the number jumped. I was like, oh,
Hey,
what?
well, hey, I see a lot of people came in as we were talking. So welcome in. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. We talk all things CBS soaps. Unfortunately, we don't talk GH or days. That's it's the YNR, B&B, and Beyond the Gates. There is
Yeah,
also
CBS soaps.
yeah CBS soaps. There are other social media platforms, such as we have a Facebook group. We also are on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and some of the other places. So, yeah, we are about to talk about Bold. Our boy Thomas is back. We got
Mm.
Deacon not being honest when he expects honesty from Sheila. Our girl Katie just got married, and her man says, I'm finna give you a whole company. We got Hope feeling a little bit uncomfortable, which the question is why, because Thomas is back.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brooke is giving, I guess, lukewarm excitement to Katie over her getting this new company from her new husband. And somebody got fired. Sorry, Deke.
Yeah. Well, we actually have some storylines to kind of talk about,
That's
don't
what I'm
we?
saying. This week, both Y&R and B&B should have been November sweeps weeks.
I guess we'll talk about the beginning of the week. That was very smart of the writers to just go ahead and get that wedding out the way.
Yeah, you talking about with
I,
Bill and Katie?
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like it makes perfect sense. They were already at his house. There was already food, decor, everything. She already had a couple of family members. Cool. Go ahead and get that done and over with. I was good with that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yep, I really did. We didn't have this long because it took them a whole week to do this whole Hope and Liam thing. And
Yeah.
when
And
we
it's like
got,
their eighth wedding. Like
right,
we come on now. Fourth marriage, eighth wedding. We need to see all this.
exactly. All right, so let's before we get into the whole Forrester thing, I kind of want to deal with Taylor, Deacon, and Sheila stuff. Let's
Oh
get that
yeah.
out the way. Um, this is my issue with Deacon. First of all, Deacon left that wedding, and I think I'm gonna give shout out credit to Bree because she brought this up. Um, and did
Mm-hmm.
not go home. He went to see Taylor with pizza and a plate. He
He
we go ahead. I'm sorry.
he magically had a session scheduled and booked after the wedding.
Yeah. And then the other parts of this is that we saw Taylor being real manipulative in her conversation with regard to this because Sheila came to visit and was, frantic about not being invited to the wedding, and she thought about crashing. And we saw last week when she told Sheila, that would be a crazy thing to do, and Sheila was like, who you calling crazy? And she's like, no, the behavior would be crazy. And Sheila, she loves this man. She's like, listen, I'm not finna backslide. I'm not going to the wedding. And she didn't show up. Fast forward to the conversation between Taylor and Deacon. She gave more attention to the thought of her showing up versus her actual behavior, which she didn't, and telling Deacon that maybe he should still be worried. And I'm like, but she didn't show up. That took actual restraint to do that. But you're dwelling on the fact that she originally had the thought to do it.
Yeah. I feel that was such BS
Mm-hmm.
coming from Taylor. And it's only to plant seeds because she can't be woman enough to say that she wants to go after this married man. But she would complain about Sheila popping in and possibly interrupting a session and whatever. But you had no problem with Deacon coming in, bringing pizzas, knowing that he should be going home to his wife, since they both were concerned about Sheila backsliding and going back to her old ways. Why didn't you redirect this man's attention to go home and see about his wife to make sure that she was there, since she wasn't part of the festivities?
Mm-hmm.
But instead, you guys are on a pizza date in your office.
Yeah, and I
And
mean, go ahead.
I was going to say, and they can't even celebrate the fact that, okay, maybe she has changed. She could have interrupted the wedding, but she chose to love you instead and not ruin his daughter's day. They can
Exactly.
even acknowledge that.
Yeah, that ain't the only thing they downplayed. They also downplayed saving her daughter's life. Yeah, well, she did save Steffi. Oh, by
And
the way,
Katie.
that she did save Kelly too. But
Kelly. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I said, Kelly. But you mean to tell me that y'all don't want to focus on those three things: the restraint, the saving of your daughter and your granddaughter's life, and you want to harp on the thought that came up, even though she didn't act on it. And like, who is that? Might makes right in the chat.
New one.
That's a new one.
All
Hey
right.
you, hey. Um, keyword actual is the actual keyword in that is restraint. She put
Mm-hmm.
restraint and said, "Look, I'm gonna just go home. I don't want to screw this thing up with my husband. I'm gonna wait till you get home and talk about the wedding." And y'all sitting up there harping on the fact that she thought about it.
And she tells him, well, I hope Sheila is worth all of this because you deserve a woman who's gonna appreciate you and truly deserve you. I'm like, okay, look, as much as she gets on Brooke for trying to go after a married man, look, she's being very passive aggressive when she tries to get with Deacon.
Hypocritical at that.
Hypocritical, absolutely. And then we get the scene with Deacon and Sheila, and she's telling him, look, I love you. I'm not trying to mess this up. This is a very important day for you and your daughter. I would never disrespect you. And his reaction was just cold.
Yeah, like that
Like,
picture.
and he's not even saying thank you.
Mm-mm.
Like, I see the change in you. Or something to that effect. He's just sitting there. He's just calm. And then anytime they bring up Taylor, he's like, "Oh yeah, she's definitely changed me. She's changed me." He was waiting and looking for any excuse. He was hoping she would backslide.
Yep.
He was hoping she would show up so he could have an excuse to go be with Taylor.
Yeah, he was a little
And
disappointed. He wanted her to screw up to validate, oh, I know she gonna mess up. So it's gonna
yep,
it's gonna make it easy for me to get rid of her and get over to Taylor. That's why they couldn't find they were reaching. That conversation was reaching. You couldn't find nothing
yeah,
in this moment. You already forgave her or moved past this whole Luna keeping the secret thing. All right? So now you looking
mm-hmm.
for something else to hang your hat on and she didn't show up. Now what?
Yep. Yep. And the fact that this man can't even say thank you to his wife for loving on him more than she wanted to crash that party. Give her something. It's just, if you want to be over there with Taylor so bad, then go. Because he's trying to find any and every reason to leave Sheila
Yeah.
instead of just being man enough and just doing so.
Yeah.
But you cannot blame and say that she's backsliding. Unless she has, then go for it. But everything has been all about Deacon. I don't want to mess up my marriage. I appreciate he's giving me another chance. I will do as he says. I'm not going to try to ruin things for his daughter or his kids. She's trying to be good for him. And he used to see the good. This is why he got her out of prison.
Right.
He made a whole deal with the judge, and he was pleading to anyone in that town who can hear him that Sheila has changed.
Yep.
All of a sudden, this thing that happened with Luna, and she wasn't even the one to help her recover. She found out well after the fact, but she didn't tell you. But you having all these secret meetings, in this secret flirtation with Taylor, and all these little secret conversations with the kids about possibly trying to leave her. Okay, you want honesty but can't give honesty.
Yeah, that was the other part of their conversation toward the end. I just need you to be honest with me. Well, she has been, and she
Yeah.
didn't have to tell you that she went to see went to see Taylor. And she even said, I gotta look out for, oh, maybe I overstepped my boundaries. This girl is being very transparent. You're not.
Yeah, if you don't want to be with her, say so. But just understand, you put a target on your back because you think that if you think she's not going to backslide once you leave her, you crazy. And Taylor will be crazy for trying to get with Deacon because everywhere they're going to look, Sheila's going to pop up like Leslie.
Mm-hmm. Digital 5151. That's another new one. Welcome in. Said that I find it funny how Steffi didn't get up on Lee about Luna, but had something to say to Sheila. A lot of them didn't.
Except for Katie and Bill in the beginning.
Yeah,
But
but
I
that
think
was
they
a
kind of let
hot
that
30
slide.
seconds.
Yeah, and as you can see, Lee is still able to work at the hospital.
Yeah.
So,
Now they gave Grace Buckingham the blues. And I granted, yeah, you shouldn't lie about a diagnosis. But Lee harbored a criminal,
yeah.
saved her,
And
nurtured her, tried to find a way out. And y'all letting her slide on that one?
yeah, I think Finn did get on his mom about it for like a split second, and then they told the news to Poppy about Luna. But other than that, Lee has been able to go to El Giardino, go to work, uh, go over to Steffi and Finn's house. So, and still has access to being around the grandkids. I think there's like a discussion about that too.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing is phased Lee,
Mm-mm.
but Sheila's getting the bulk of of the what's the word I'm looking for?
Accountability. The
The
accountability is they're
accountability.
holding her more accountable than Lee.
Yep. Who who had the girl in her apartment
Right.
stealing drugs to try to help this girl recover and recuperate.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anywho, it's all Sheila's fault.
Yeah. So this whole thing with Taylor trying to drop nuggets, trying to put the cracks in their relationship and their marriage. You can't say nothing about Brooke. At first, it was you always trying to do this and undermine my marriage. That's what you do. All this stuff she said about Brooke. You're doing the exact same thing right now. You're just being a lot
Mm-hmm.
more passive aggressive and manipulative.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and she's loving the fact that the kids are having the issues with Sheila and that he's on the brink of trying to leave his marriage and that she's starting to feel some sort of attraction. So she's just waiting for this man to do it all on his own so it won't make it seem like she broke up a family or broke
Yep.
up a marriage.
And I honestly think the reason that Deacon hoped that Sheila would backtrack is because he don't want to look like the bad guy. He
Mm-hmm.
would have to be the one to break Sheila's heart, and of course that will unleash a fury. That's the other thing. He also, part of him, I think, was like, man, if I leave this girl, she gonna lose it because her acting right is tied up into her marriage.
Yep. And she works for him.
Mm-hmm.
They were like really they were minding their own business for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Where she and everybody, and that's the other thing too. Y'all are keep saying that Sheila could backslide and she's dangerous and she's this, but y'all go to the restaurant
Exactly. Yep.
every chance that you get.
You're always over there eating.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't they just have like the Daphne and Carter had like they were invited to spend time with Sheila and Deacon for
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving?
Yep.
And then we had Katie and Deacon and Sheila having tea together. And You had Will going up to Sheila and having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steffi, of all people, who was running and karate chopping and leaving town because of Sheila at one point, can just show up to El Jardino and have a conversation with this woman?
Yeah, but then
Really?
this past week talking about she was delusional for thinking that she could go to the wedding. Okay, yet Hope was at Hope was at her wedding.
Hope was at her wedding. And then she was also encouraging Finn to have a relationship with his birth mother, and how Steffi was so dictator, and how she was controlling, and how like if she was with Finn, she would never allow that to happen, as Sheila has changed and making her dad happy. We remember those conversations
Mm-hmm.
last year.
Mm-hmm. Cynthia Chain said Deacon is just another leftover from Brooke that Taylor is willing to accept.
Okay, this is why we did not want this. I know G Money. I know there's a couple of people who are Team Taylor and Deacon. This is exactly why I wanted to have her own man, her
Like
own
Jack,
man,
well, I was gonna say Jack, but that's Lee X. So
and Sheila's uh,
baby
ex
daddy.
too. Yeah, but like they could have had somebody new, somebody fresh, especially since they're creating this storyline with a fashion rivalry company.
Ooh,
That
you
could
know who they could have paired her up with? Bring that if Nicole from Beyond the Gates don't want that guy Kyle, they could have
Kyle.
brought Kyle over here for her.
Oh, that's a very handsome looking man. Mm-hmm. But I would root for Taylor and Deacon if Krista Allen was on, and I forget who put it in the chat. I think it was Mike Makes Right,
Mm-hmm.
who said they should have never fired Krista Allen. Now, Krista and
Chris.
Sean Keenan,
Mm-hmm.
they had incredible chemistry.
She had
I would
incredible
have rooted
chemistry
for
with
that.
everybody.
Yes, she did.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that was the problem.
Mm-hmm. Probably. Interesting
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
But
Well, we'll see, because I have a feeling that they're the Deacon's gonna. Oof, I would hate to see that when if they share a kiss or something in Taylor's office and Sheila decide to crash the party, even though she was told not to, she gonna walk in on that. That's my prediction.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and Taylor should know better, as much as she keeps saying. All the years of dealing with Sheila, why are you going to deal with her husband?
Right.
Why are you trying to put yourself in the line of fire?
Yep. That is true. All right, girl, we got to talk about this Forrester business stuff. So, Eric has decided
Yes.
to concede and he's ready to go home into retirement and take his little drawings with him. And I guess him and
Mm-hmm.
Ridge has made peace. In the meantime, Katie has been hemming and hawing about whether or not she want to take Bill up on his offer. I guess the straw that broke the camel's back is when she was snubbed out of a PR meeting. That part I did not understand. How is it that Brooke can go into a PR meeting? I guess she's on the executive team, but you don't have the head of your own current PR department in the meeting with the PR outsource company. I don't get that.
I don't get it either. At the same time, the owners of the company are going to do what they want,
That's true.
which is why, I don't understand how Bill offers you your own fashion house. Why are you going into work?
Girl, she
This is what you're
said
going to
her
do with that
future,
work.
she's invested a lot in Forrester, and something else stupid that she said about Will talking about, I don't want to mess up your career over there. Your dad's legacy is over here.
And Will don't even care. He was like, if Rich fires me, then oh well. I know I
But
can
I
fall
don't,
back over here.
why do you cut the cord?
For real. There, unless you are an owner of a company, you do not have any say so on how that is ran. There are plenty of people who give time and decades of their life to companies, and they could immediately pull the rug from underneath you and say, like, hey, thank you for your services.
Mm-hmm.
That's real life. So for her to think that just because her sister is part of the C-suite and because she has a title over there and her families or their families are intertwined with each other, that she was going to have a say so, or at least have Victor have the not Victor, have Ridge give common courtesy to her
Mm-hmm.
and let her know what's going on. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's an owner of the company. They don't have to notify her of anything. She's you're an order taker, essentially. If you're not an owner, you are an order taker.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how business is. You're paid to do a job.
And I
And
agree with that, because yeah, they
mm-hmm,
got the final say. They call the shots. But in an ethical sense, or how your company should
right.
move, if you are in collaboration with an outsourced PR team, your internal PR team and the lead should be in that meeting.
Right.
Even
But
though
they
they
said,
can say that I mean, they can do it, but it's not smart business. That's the thing. It's just not smart
yeah.
business. If I'm going to, and we both have our own businesses, right, Bree?
Mm-hmm,
And if you had other people work for you, like say for example, my son handled my logistics. If I'm gonna handle
mm-hmm.
on my other business, if I'm gonna have a logistics company come in to do whatever, I'm going to include him on the memos and the meetings because he's part of what is the fabric of my company, which he runs logistics. Why would I exclude him outside of something that he should be a part of and then have meet with this other? It's just not good look. It's not, I mean, and granted, I could do what I want, but it's just not
Mm-hmm.
in the professional way of doing things. Is if you got a PR team, your lead should at least be in the meeting.
Well, here's the thing, though. You're not an egomaniac. Um, and you actually have brain cells that work. We can't say that about
For
Rich.
Ridge.
So, and I guess he has a heart, I guess. Um, but some people are able to run their companies with some ethics. But
Mm-hmm.
this is where Ridge and Victor are kind of one and the same. They're going to do what they feel best for their company. They're not going to care about anybody's feelings in the process.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you get on board or you don't.
Right.
And this is the thing with Katie. I'm not you. You were offered a whole company, so you don't have to put up with this. You were crying to Bill, saying that you put in all this time and all this effort, and I used to run the company before, and blah blah blah. Now he's giving you your own company to run, so you have to go run to be somebody else's employee. And I need time to think about it. And you go to work, and guess what? They move on. Same way, once you leave, they're going to find they already have somebody in your place.
Mm-hmm.
So they already are telling you in so many words that they're ready to move on from you. So why are you there? What are you so good? You don't have a legacy over there? You were working towards somebody else's legacy.
But I think that's what it is. Because somebody was saying this in Soap social media. There's a level of entitlement with the Logans. They think they own a piece of that company.
And it's the men of that company's fault, Eric and Ridges. This is why they feel entitled the way they do.
Mm-hmm.
They allow this to happen. But what I was telling J Money earlier in the voice note, that as much as they cape for the Logans, unless it's Brooke, they don't love Donna or Katie like that.
Yeah, I heard that. You
Because
said that
if
this morning, didn't you?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because if Ridge loved Katie just as much as he loves Brooke and treats the family as equal, he would have gave her a heads up. He
Yep.
would have allowed her to go a direction regarding the PR firm. He would have given her grace in that regard. His actions show otherwise. He
Mm-hmm.
don't care. So when she leaves, he's good as long as his business is up and running. Like, okay, we'll see you at the family functions. That's fine. Bye.
Yep.
He don't love it unless it's Brooke. They don't care about the other Logans like that.
I agree. I agree. Um, well, this also takes us to the fact that after all of that happened, she decided that she was ready to take it on, which is to, actually decide to own her own fashion house. I think the other reason that there is hesitation was not only because of she didn't want to leave her sisters behind, but I also think that she have a little bit of doubt. Can she actually take this whole thing on? Because that was the other conversation that we had earlier in this week, you and I, Bree, about the fact that it didn't make sense to give her a fashion house, maybe give her a PR company.
Yeah, something within her wheelhouse. A
Correct.
whole fashion company. And even Brooke was like, to get that off of the ground when there's other established luxury brands is going to take, it's going to be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully she has a billionaire husband who can bankroll if she's losing profits or missing anything. She married to the kingdom now, and
Mm-hmm.
he's gifting it to her. So she's good in that regard. But finding talent that is equal to or better than the Foresters is going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing and that's why she wants to hang over there, because she knows there's a lot of prestige being over at Forrester.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And but the thing about it also is she was beating her chest saying that, oh, I used to run Forrester Creations, and you got Bill gassing her up and saying like, oh, they haven't seen success since you got to the company. And I'm like, sir, they were successful prior to her being born. The talent is Eric and Ridge, and
Mm-hmm.
then the third generation of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So they're clearly prospering just fine with the PR company, and they
Mm-hmm.
don't need Katie. So anyway, there's going to be doubt and there's a lot of fear when starting a new business, but if you're going to be direct competition for Forrester Creations, you have to come with your A game to
Mm-hmm.
try to beat them.
I agree.
So I know a lot of people were saying that, oh, Eric is going to try to work over there. I personally don't think that. I think a different direction. um, I feel like Eric, as much as he loves Donna and he loves Brooke more than any of the Logans, he's not going to go work under Spencer Publications, because her fashion house is a division under Spencer Publications. He's
Right.
not going to give Bill the satisfaction. He didn't even want to be at the wedding. He didn't want to be in that man's house, breathing his air.
Mm-hmm.
So why would he go work for Katie? Give all of his hard-earned sketches, all of his talent over to her to help another man's legacy.
Right. Now, Cynthia Chang had a good question in the chat. She said, is Katie even physically capable to be doing all this?
And that's the other thing too. I think something's going to happen to where she's overstressed trying to prove herself, and it's going to affect her physically. So it's a matter of even if that company gets up and off the ground too.
Well, what she might have to end up doing, I mean, I don't think she'll have to do the foundational work, but that's where Bill's money is going to come in with outsourcing and creating teams. So, it's possible if she's going to try to do everything as a one-man show, oh yeah, that's going to be a lot of work.
And plus, who is going to jump ship to go help her?
I don't know. I just think that there's a war brewing because that takes us over to Thomas coming back, Deke out.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yay.
yeah, Thomas is back. He was like, I want to be back on Hope for the Future. And alongside, we get to see Zende this week. I should
I
say
know.
we got to
He looked
see,
good too. He looked good this week.
yeah, we got to see Zende back. So both Thomas and Zende wants to work on Hope for the Future. And of course, being that he's a forester, he is a stockholder, his name is on the building. Of course, Steffi and Ridge is like, sure, no problem, let's go. Deke, temporary, he's out. That brings us to the conversation with Steffi and Hope. And I know you probably got a lot to say about this, Bree.
Girl.
Because Miss Hope Logan was trying to push for her brother to stay on. And Steffi is like, yeah, well, no, because Thomas is back. And a little Hopi, even though she got married last week, she's a little uncomfortable after everything that her and Thomas has been through. Oh, now you remember Thomas, but I forgot. I thought there were feelings of Carter. Because remember, they tried to erase Thomas out of that. Now that Thomas is back. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's uncomfortable with the fact that there's memories of this man putting her on the desk, then getting it on the couch in Eric's office. The way that this man was tearing it up. All of a sudden now you're uncomfortable because of how this is going to affect Lee. Look, I was cracking up. I really wish Steffi would have like read her to Riot Act because she had no problem promoting and putting Thomas in everybody's face when she was in love with him and when he was making her feel a kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But this goes to show that Hope was never a businesswoman. Everything is always personal for this girl. Because how can she knock Thomas working on her line when he's been the majority of her success? And on top of that, him leaving a year ago proved that she needed this man because she failed all 4 quarters by herself because the man with the vision left her.
Yep.
So here he is. You finally got your company back. You finally got it back after you cried and you whined about the fact that you had a failing clothing brand and they took it off the shelves. And even the buyers didn't want to buy your stuff with your vision. You got mad. You staged a coup. They decided to let you back into the doors and give you your line back. And they said, like, okay, you want to try to find a new vision with the designer? Okay, we'll hire Deke. That's fine. His designs are not cutting it. It makes sense to have 2 veteran designers who has made your line a success to help it revamp it and get it back off of the ground. But you're uncomfortable now that you're married to Liam. You have all of these memories of the way you were running behind couches because you were scared of what Thomas was going to do to you, and you let him. You were fantasizing about this man. Your whole theme song was pulsations every time that man breathed around you. You're going to deny the man who gave you your style, gave you your success. He pretty much is hope for the future because it's not you. You're just the name. You can even convey the vision for you to save your line from being pulled off of the shelves. You allowed your line to fail all 4 quarters with your vision. And you don't even want to consider Thomas coming back because it's going to affect how you and Liam are going to be and how it's going to affect Liam. It sounds like you guys don't have a solid foundation in your marriage already.
Well, probably she got married because of the fact that, yes, she feels some kind of way about him, but because her daughter is really pushing this thing together. And she thought that he was dying, so she was like, oh my God, I can't, you know. However, there was some intensity with Thope. And a lot
Oh, yes.
of Thomas's designs was built into how he felt about Hope. His
Yep.
vision was how he felt about Hope and how he wanted to dress her and what he would see her in. And it came out into how those dresses look. And she knows that. She knows that this man is a dangerous addiction. And
Mm-hmm.
she knows that it will make her uncomfortable because now he's back. And it depends on how the writers are going to do this, or even if this is the case, because they tried to erase Soap over the past year and a half as if it didn't exist, and Carter was the one that was pining after Hope from Rome in 2023. Whatever, writers. Um, but yeah, for her to sit up there and say, well, here's the other part where she told Steffi, you want to eliminate my brother so you can put your brother in. Well, her brother is a Forrester. And like you said
Okay.
earlier, Bree, the owners call the shots. So he is part owner. If he wanted to come back from Paris or work remotely part time from Paris, he's a Forrester.
And how about her? How about Hope's brothers' designs are not cutting it? Steffi was like, well, how many designs did we accept so far to go into production? Crickets.
Mm-hmm.
So you either want your line off the ground or you don't. And once again, this is why she was never meant to be a businesswoman.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is led off of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And she would go to her mother with her tears, and her mother was pretty much the driving force to try to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
But she cannot deny that Thomas was an integral part of the success of Hope for the Future. He's worked on it for years.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't he want to come back to a line that has made him money, made his family money, and also made her money? It makes the most sense. And plus, we know that she has no style, no taste on her own.
Yeah, here's the
Even her brother, even Deke was like, yeah, we've seen what you did without Thomas.
right.
like, like, girl, you either want to be a success, you really want to have this line to come back with a vengeance, especially after Carter did all this crying, all this pleading to Reg to get your line back.
Girl,
Here is a moment where you can have success with the man who made you successful and had the real vision for you.
did you see how both Deke and Hope snubbed their dad's business?
Okay, once again, like just
Yeah,
disrespectful.
cause Deke was
Yes, he owns
like,
a.
I guess I could just go over there and make pizzas with Dad, and he was like, oh no, 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 I have faith in you. You're gonna do a great in your career. I'm like, so y'all just don't care that y'all dad also owns a business. It's just not as big as everybody else's business.
He owns one of the luxury pizzerias that everyone keeps going to. All the Foresters go there, and it's an honest living. So you can't even respect that, and that's part of both of your guys' legacy. But you want to cry about working for somebody else's legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Please, like both of them just on my nerve. And I got to give Deke some credit. He took it on the chin far
Mm-hmm.
better than Hope.
Yep.
And even Brooke did. When Ridge said, hey, Deke is out, Thomas is in, and this makes more business sense for Hope for the Future, she was like, oh, yeah, I get it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting something completely different from Brooke. Like, oh, Thomas is dangerous. Or, oh, like Hope and Liam just got married. That's going to create issues. I was
Because
expecting
it
that to come out of her mouth.
because
But
it
she just
doesn't
like took it on the chin. Like, yeah, it makes the best sense. I want what's best for my daughter.
because it doesn't
Boom.
directly affect one of her kids. That's Deacon's son. Hope still got
Mm-hmm.
a job. Hope still got a line, and better yet, Thomas want to be back on that line. Of course, she took that on the chin. Deke is out.
Yep. She's like, ain't one of my kids. Okay.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, that's Deacon's kid. With who So, and then we ended up the week with Katie telling Brooke about her idea, and to me, it was cautiously optimistic from Brooke.
You know what didn't make any sense is like, once, why are you showing your hand to Brooke? Let
Hmm.
this be a surprise. But I guess.
I don't think
And
Brooke
and
took her
Brooke
seriously though.
Brooke reacted like how she always reacts. It's always condescending.
Hmm.
Um, and she'd be like, "Oh, well, this is a big task. Are you sure you can do this? I mean, it's is this going to be healthy for you?" And like she gave like this fake niceness that the Logans have mastered over the years.
Hmm.
Like no matter what they say to each other, they this is what they do. Um, so this is why I don't understand like why Katie said anything. At least let your company get off of the ground and say, "Hey, we're already up and running in business, and yeah, we're going to be in competition with each other, but just let you know this is what I'm doing," and then be out. I would have
Hmm.
loved for her to cuss Ridge out. It's like, "Hey, since you don't want to include me in the business, I'm going to mind my own business,
Hmm.
literally, and
Hmm.
we'll see you on the runway," and then walk out.
I agree.
That would have gave like this rivalry a little bit more oomph. You can go to your sister like, "Oh, sis, I just want your support. I'm gonna start this company and I'm scared, but I want you to support us." Like, boo.
Hmm.
Like Sally Spectre would not be doing this.
No.
Like the Maronis would not be doing this.
Yep. You are.
Ugh.
Yeah, girl.
Yes, Jenna, she is pea green. I'm like, why are you going to give them a heads up? Like, why? They didn't give
Hmm.
you a heads up about a PR firm and what's going on in your role in your business over there.
Right.
Why are you giving
Exactly.
them a heads up about your company?
Hmm. I agree. All right. Let's see. Did we cover everything?
I believe so. I just want to say again, it's so good to see Thomas back. He looks so good.
Yay.
Now, they
Yeah.
did say that he was working remotely and
Hmm.
he'll come back and forth.
Hmm.
Writers, producers, Brad Bell, Casey Castlebeck, go ahead and make this man full time. I don't know why you're playing like
It
this.
must be
Make
something with
him
the
full
actor,
time.
though. Maybe Matt is in and out. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Look, something's got to give. You guys write 3 weeks ahead of time, 3.5 weeks ahead of time.
Hmm.
You guys can write this man full time. We're not saying that he has to do a whole love story arc, but I absolutely love his motivation for wanting to have an integral part in his family business. I
Hmm.
love that for him.
Yeah, I
And
would.
eventually we can have a love interest for him down the line too. But yeah, make Hope feel uncomfortable. Let's see how steady her relationship is with Liam. Let
Hmm.
the truth come out for Elizabeth and for Liam that she never even loved him enough to want to come back to him. It was because of their daughter.
Exactly. All right. Let us move on. Where we at in the chat, girl?
Let's see, we got 74 in, oh, sorry, correction, 83 in the chat. We have 51 likes.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see if we can get those likes up, you guys. Let's see if we can get it up to 70, 65, 70.
Yes, please, Sophies. He's hit that like button. It is free of
Mm-hmm.
charge.
All right, we got to talk about Beyond the Gates. So, we see that Anita had a biopsy. Vanessa
Mm-hmm.
is losing it. We see a kiss share between Carlton and our girl, which of course Danny's excited
Nicole.
about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, Sharon in this situation with Vernon is questionable.
Mm-hmm.
What's that girl that came to town that Haley knows?
Lynette.
Lynette, okay? And then of course Leslie is snitching, thinking that she knows what's going on between Vernon and Sharon. And then we got Vernon trying to make sure Andre is on the up and up. Really? Okay. Where you want to start, girl?
um, because I already see this question in the chat. Gail was asking if Anita has breast cancer. Turns out that she does. We found that out
Yesterday.
Friday's episode.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what stage, but this is going to be really I know they soaps do a lot of awareness storylines. I think this is a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
This is my heart broke for Anita that she felt that she had to keep that to herself and she didn't want to worry her kids because my mom was in that position when it came to her pancreatic cancer. We found out a lot later because she wanted to deal with it on her own. But it shows that there's some people who go through a lot of fear and they bottle it up on their own. We know in a preview she's eventually going to tell Vernon. But this was such a good storyline, and we got to see like you were pointing out to me in the chat about the different machines like that are used, and this is going to be very eye-opening for those who don't know the process of going through the biopsy and the diagnosis and everything. So this is very heartfelt episode right here, or heartfelt storyline for Anita.
Yep. And for those that have been with me for a while, I think when I started the podcast in 19, I was a year out of going through breast cancer treatment. So this definitely is something that I am clearly aware about because I was diagnosed in 2018. So far, knocking on wood, it's been 7 years, and so far, so good after biopsies and genetic testing and lumpectomies and radiation treatment. So everybody's journey is different. Everybody has different stages. There are
Yeah.
different types of breast cancer, HER2 positive, triple negative. It's so many different things, and obviously we did see a similar story a few years back with Sharon on The Young and the Restless. So they
Yeah.
did it over there. I don't know if they did it on Bold yet.
A breast cancer story. I don't think
I
they
don't
have.
think so.
I think they've done like the cancer storyline with Eric. That was the most
Right.
recent one.
But I don't think they did a
But no,
breast
it's
cancer. No.
mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Because what does Stephanie have? I think Stephanie has lung cancer. Yeah, they haven't done a breast cancer storyline over there.
Right. So when she was talking about biopsies, she was having a core biopsy. I remember having a stereotactic biopsy, which is way different. Um, so a lot of this stuff was definitely familiar to me. Um, so yeah, and it's good to ladies make sure you have your routine mammograms because that's what I was just doing my yearly mammogram. Had clean mammos all the way up into age 47, and then got that call like Anita, we need you to come in. We see something suspicious. We need to do a biopsy, and that waiting period from the time you give that sample to finding out exactly what it was. But I end up finding out before because I had access to my chart, and because I work in the healthcare field, I do understand medical lingo, so I already knew before I got the call.
Mm-hmm. Oh
And
wow!
that's
So
a
you
scary situation because you don't know what to expect. What, especially you've never been hit with this. You've heard about it from other people. So watching Anita go through this, I totally understand. Or the character going through this. Tamara Tooney is doing a good job. We'll see how this goes on further too. So
It's a very relatable storyline
Yep.
because if you didn't go through the journey, you know family members who've gone through that journey. So this is, I know the acting is going to be remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, which brings us on to the next thing because she decided to tell her articulate sisters, Sharon and Tracy, what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to be a support system. We did see a little bit of a snide remark between between Sharon and Anita, and
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how this is going to play out. Now, there's been this sneaky suspicion over the past month and a half of we see Vernon sneaking into hotel rooms with Sharon. We've seen
Leaving his cufflinks.
leaving his cufflinks. We saw at the Winterfest where she was holding hands, dragging him around. She come back out trying to fix her lipstick because it was missing right afterward. Things like that, and the sneaky phone calls, and a lot of folks were assuming that this was due to him teaming up with her to put a song together or whatever. In my opinion, if that was the case, he should have did that with Tracy and not with Sharon or with both of them. But in this case, it was, we've been seeing him sneaking around with Sharon. Of course, Leslie got wind of it, and she's been keeping an eye on the situation as well. And we were hoping at Winterfest that something was going to happen. Instead, we ended up with what's the actress name? I mean, the singer name that they had on
Kiki Wyatt.
Kiki Wyatt instead, which was the main event. So it didn't happen then,
Mm-hmm.
and so I remember having a conversation with you guys about what happens after this show is going to be telling. And so we didn't see anything for a while. We saw Vernon have a dinner with Anita and sing her graces and how she's the most beautiful person in the room and how they met back in Chicago when she was an articulate and he came to town with politics. And then we see what happens yesterday, where Sharon, who has just got out of consoling Anita, who had to run off for her results, decides that she want to call Vernon, saying that she want to spend some time with him while she's in town. And he's like, well, I got all this stuff going on with Christmas and stuff like that, and the family's buzzing about, and I got a lot of stuff to do, but I'm gonna make some time for you. And I think everybody lost it. Some people are still
Yes.
hoping that this is some type of ploy, that maybe he is still creating something. Well, we have 4 days to find out whether this is some Christmas hookup, create a song type of thing. Because Christmas is Thursday.
And if he does not pick up a microphone, sing a Christmas tune, I'm going to cuss him out through the TV screen because there is just no way. This is so sloppy and so rude. If he is cheating, I'm going to put if, that I'm going to be optimistic about it. If he is cheating, this is sloppy to be sleeping around with one of her articulate sisters, one of her bandmates, and in town. And on top of that, you taking this woman in public, you having these little sneaky conversations, and Sharon, you hate Anita that badly that you're gonna get with her man, knowing you got a whole husband where in Chicago. You got a whole husband and you were part of a church congregation. Anita put money in your pocket. She could have easily said, okay, well, we did the articulates thing back in the day. Tracy and Sharon be all right. No, she did the whole reunion tour and allowed you and Tracy to go and go sing in different concerts and put money in your pocket. And she didn't have to worry or be concerned about you. And on top of that, this is how you treat her by sleeping with her husband. You hate her that badly. You gonna mess up your marriage and mess up hers.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. And then she tells you and Tracy them one of the most heartbreaking news, terrifying news. She told you two before her own husband. She leaves. The first thing you do is you call her husband, ask him to spend some time. And this is the part that got me. I would have thought there would have been any mention of her to like go to rehearsal or singing or whatever. He didn't even think about Sharon at all. He was like, oh, I'm on to doing all the Christmas parties and doing this and hopping around. So as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing regarding him singing a tune of anything in front of the family.
He didn't even know
Nothing.
she
He's
was in
hopping
town.
around. Exactly. Didn't even know she was in town. So he wasn't even prepared to do any rehearsals or think about doing any rehearsals and do any song. So if this man is cheating, I'm going to cuss him out because the hypocrisy of the way he got on Bill and the way he got on Ted. You the OG cheater for doing this, and sloppy for that matter. So I'm going to say if, but if we don't hear a tune for Christmas, T, he on that list. He on that list.
I think he's going to be on that list for everybody. I mean, social media is not. They're gonna. This is going to be crazy because they've been holding out hope that this was some type of song or he's doing something special by working with Sharon.
The only thing that was special was him doing the little picture thing with Andre. To fix like a photo he had when he first met Anita. That's it. That's all we've heard thus far. Nothing. We haven't heard him hum or try to sing a tune or pick up a microphone. Nothing. Except lose his cufflinks.
Yep. So.
And he could have had Tracy along, the ride too, if he was really trying to sing. They could have met any and everywhere. What type of, you go to a hotel, how do you think you're going to sound when you can hear other people on the other side of the room? You go to a studio to make sure you sound and get everything together, get your vocals together, and Sharon knows that. So I don't know, but if you don't sing a tune in the next 4 days, boy, you do this to Anita while she's going through this. Nope.
And I got a story time for that one for you because I know of a parallel experience. So I'll tell you about that later.
Yep.
Oof. Yes. You feel like what?
I'm like you. I can't decide if I'm more mad at Sharon or more mad at Vernon. Boy, well, they both sloppy in their own right.
Right now in this moment, because Vernon don't know, even though it's bad if it's the case that he's doing this, but it makes it even worse for her because this woman just confessed to you that she's going through one of the biggest fights that possibly for her life, and then 2 seconds you're on the phone with her husband.
Yeah, but not with her own husband.
Right.
Where's your husband think you're at? How would the church think of you by sleeping with another married man? No, you are a married woman. Boy. Good storyline, though.
Yep. Oh, well, she did get the news, so we'll see what goes from here, what stage. We did see some previews with Vernon and Sharon talking about somebody going to keep their secret. So I don't know. We'll see.
Probably Ted, since Leslie and Ted were gossiping like some schoolgirls at the end of the week.
Right.
About Vernon.
Yep. Because, she wanted to get invited to Martin's tree decoration party and as his date. And he was like, I already got a date. I'm taking Eva. And she was like, well, let's make it a family thing. And I don't know why she thought that was going to be okay, that you're going to bring the woman that caused all these problems to their house. You thought that you were just going to be able to just show up and go with him? And it's not going to be an issue?
You thought Martin would want you to?
Right. And then that's when she decided to be like, okay, since you want to throw that of us cheating on Nicole, well, guess who else is cheating?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, what proof do you got? And she got some damning evidence with this man just showing up at the hotel and leaving the hotel.
Yeah, because why would you have to sing in a hotel room? They will put you out. You know how that is, girl. I mean, like you said, you get a
Yes, thank
studio for
you.
that.
Thank you. And the hotel walls are thin. People be here, like, unless you go to like the really ritzy luxury hotels,
Mm-hmm.
like you hear everything. So yeah, he went to the hotel several times at night, lying to his wife when they could have rented like a banquet hall or a studio that made more sense so he can be in front of a microphone and
Mm-hmm.
actually see how he sounds and to be in front of like a piano or something. So how are they doing their tunes? How if he doesn't know what key to sing?
And you don't need to take off your cufflinks to do that. I mean, seriously.
Thank you. And
And she
her
don't need to
lipstick
fix
shouldn't be
her
smashed.
exactly. You don't need to fix your lipstick after doing something like that. But anyway, I guess we'll
Right.
see. Let's just be optimistic. There are some people that are swearing that this is not an affair. We'll find out.
Yeah, I think he better be singing something.
Yeah, cause
He got 4 days.
Keish don't think that this is an affair. Mm-mm.
He better be singing something. Keish, if you're listening, girl, the way it's looking right now, I don't trust anything Sharon or Vernon got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because we ain't heard a tune of nothing. Jingle bells, nothing.
Mm-mm.
Santa sleigh, nothing. Rudolph, nothing.
Yeah, somebody getting slayed, all right. Um,
Yeah, okay.
Thinking about getting slayed, Vanessa is willing to throw her entire life away because she love her some Joey.
This woman said that she would crawl. I can't get over that. She would crawl to Joey.
Yeah,
Oh my
that is.
Lord.
Ooh.
It's that good, girl? She admitted the thing that made me, I was like, I feel vindicated. She said she never loved Doug. She loves him as a person, but she was never in love with this man.
Girl, she
She
worships. That's the when
loved,
somebody crawling to on their knees. She worships that man.
yes. I'm like, she's just as worse as everyone that worships Victor on Y&R.
Yeah, well, she
Boy, could
getting
you
her
imagine she
yeah,
got a
but she
hold of
getting her
Victor
back
now?
blown out in the process.
Boy, I'm like, what is he doing to her?
I remember I
This is
told you,
crazy.
girl. It's the idealization of this man. She idealized this man. So it's not per se just maybe the sex, right? I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
part of it. But she finds danger and excitement and he's got power and he know how to make things happen. Again, she's addicted to the power. It's an
I think
aphrodisiac
so
to her.
too. I think so too. It's something about having also people, because people in that town fear Joey Armstrong
Correct.
to some degree. Being alongside that gives you some sort of power. It gives you this sort of rush that you've never had before to have people fear you. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's also exciting that people have to bow down to her.
You think
Because
she
she
would
felt,
you think she would go for Victor?
oh, boy, ooh, he had to be putting it down the way Joey's putting it down. If he's not, I mean, I can't see her doing that,
Mm-hmm.
but that power is
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be something on a different level that she's never had before, and that Joey's not going to be able to give her. So anything's possible. Um, Anything's possible because she had a whole husband of like 20 something years that she doesn't even love. So any man, the garbage man, would probably give her the same effect. But the
I will tell you this,
something
Bree.
about that.
It's gonna make it easy for Joey to tell her that he was the one that unalived. She's not gonna care. She's not gonna care. I
No,
think
she's
she
not.
might feel just a little bit because it's her children's father, but at the end result, she wants this man. And if it meant removing Doug out the way to get to her, she might even see that as you wanted me that bad that you would take him out to get to me.
That's going to excite her.
That's going to excite her even more.
Absolutely. I think that's going to, in her own mind, oh, he really, really loves me. He is in love with me. That he would go to these great lengths to try to be with me. Mm-hmm. That's how she's going to try to justify it for herself. But the fact that this woman shipped her kids off, moved this man in, so these kids can't even grieve in the household they grew up in, and try to, deal with their feelings regarding their dad in the household with their mother. You ship them off so you can move this man in and want this man to parade you around town that he's your man, your man, your man, and that you want this man to treat you like a wife, essentially. And Joey, he knocked her with some sense last week. He said, look, Doug hasn't even been around 2 months, and you're already ready to parade me around knowing who I am, and I'm trying to clean up my act, or at least try to show a different, persona, so people can get off of my back.
Think about it like this, girl. She committing crimes for this man. She's laundering money through her real estate firm.
Oh yeah. Something about it's exciting. That danger is something that she's never had before, because the way that she described it, that she was this happy housewife and she had the business once the kids were a little bit older, and she already had money, so she didn't have to worry about anything. But she never saw her husband. Everything was routine, and she didn't feel wanted or needed. So now she gets to have this sort of power, this excitement, this adrenaline rush through Joey. It's an addiction. This man is an addiction for her.
Yep. Absolutely.
I can't even call it love. It's an addiction. It's funny to watch. It's exciting to watch, sure. But the way that she disrespected her kids, I was like, Vanessa, that's not what you do. But I knew you never loved that man, but them babies loved that man. You should have been there for your children more than you should be wanting to be up underneath Joey.
Exactly. That was crazy. I mean, she is just gone. So gone. Yeah.
But it actually works in Joey's favor, since we know that he's trying to not cover his tracks, but try to cover up his business a little bit. And everyone fears Joey Armstrong. They know that he gets in a lot of mess and a lot of dangerous things. So that's why he was trying to put Bill up of the idea to run for office. So his money can seem clean. It actually is in his best interest to stick along Vanessa versus the other way around, because he could have the prestige. Her family comes from old money and she's well known within the community. It actually would be beneficial, but I don't think he wants to attach himself to crazy, because she's crazy about this man.
Yes, she is. She gone. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, she's a whole madam. There's a couple things. She's running she's a whole madam for his escort service, and she's laundering money. She is so far deep into this with this man. She loves the danger, the excitement. She didn't like the boring life, or what she call it, or the fact that she really didn't love this guy. She was just there just because, which is why she was using escort services to sleep with other people. So,
and for years she was the best client, he said.
Yep. So
number one client.
All right. What did you think about the little romance with Nicole and Carlton?
Um, I know there's some people who might be fans of these two, but this was the most robotic
Mm-hmm.
thing I've witnessed. I can't get on board with these two.
Gotcha.
I feel like they have better chemistry with other people, but I mean, at least we see her, break out of her shell a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think like she had a whole checklist for their date, and they make each other robotic, and it feels like it's very dry and
That's
no
because, you know
heat, no
why?
spiciness.
She's a dry character. Not Daphne. Daphne, I watch Daphne on social media. The girl love to have fun and get a
Yes,
dance on. But the character, the way that they're writing her, she's this stuffy, dry psychiatrist. So she is, Danny is opposite of her. Danny is bubbly, she's exciting,
yeah.
she's spontaneous, she's edgy. Nicole is the quiet, I'm going to tote the line, do the right thing, I'm going to stay straight laced, I'm going to be quiet, peaceful, and calm. They need somebody. And Carlton, I just don't like the dynamic of that. This man obviously been harboring feelings for his partner's wife.
Best friends, girl.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm not feeling that. They need somebody. You know how Thomas brought out the the vixen in Hope.
Yep.
They need somebody like that to bring out that side of her.
I 100% agree.
Mhm.
I feel the guy should be a little bit younger, something that's going to give her a little edge. Like, she probably needs escort service more than anybody, but I do agree. And don't get me wrong, Carlton is a tall drink of water. That's a very good looking man.
Mhm.
The character's a bit dry.
Right. You can't
And I
put two
feel
dry
like,
people together. It's like Hope and Liam.
right, it's like a sand dune. Like,
Mhm.
I felt that she had more chemistry and was more open when she was with Kyle, Mr. Rollins, Dr. Rollins.
He was
Like,
definitely edgy, especially some of the things that he was saying.
yes, he was smooth, he was relaxed. Like, we saw her giggle, we saw her, be more bubbly. She let this man that she don't know into her house so quickly. I was like, oh,
You know
okay.
what? Let's make it
They had,
soapy, Bree. Let's make it soapy. Say Bill couldn't get Danny back, right?
ooh,
Bill couldn't get Danny back, right? And Haley went to jail for finding out that she was trying to poison him. Soap opera world, somebody's husband messes with somebody's sister. And she's been
mm,
harboring because Bill is this dark sided guy, right? He's this edgy guy.
yeah,
And they kind of connect. What would you think about that if they was to
I
do
would love
that?
it.
Really, Bill and Nicole?
That scene that they had when she found out that he was covering up Martin's crimes, that heat, that passion, the way that they looked at each other, that was fire. That was more fire that we've seen from her with Bill than we ever seen her with Ted or Carlton, and I guess even Kyle. All
Mm-hmm.
of them combined can even match up to that. Like, that they could have been pent up anger, frustration, something. It's something about those two episodes, those moments right there with her and Bill. He gets underneath that woman's skin in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
And we
Mm-hmm.
could easily say, like, oh, she's upset, she's angry, and she wouldn't do that to her sister. We see how sisters betray each other on soaps.
Girl, could you imagine? She's been, you know, looking at Bill because he is this, attorney who's this suave ladies man. and she's been jealous of Danny all these years, even though, and she, that's the soapy side of it. Now, hey, Jay Money is in the chat. What's up, Jay?
What? Wait a minute. What did he say? He said, hold up. Me and Bree brought that up possibly when they had that scene earlier this year and had a ton of chemistry during that. Bree and I were here for it. We want to see it. Yes, we do.
Okay, so
Yes,
he's
we
talking
do.
about Nicole and Bill.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
We saw that scene, and there was this underlying chemistry that those two had. It was so good. And I think also on social media they showed like how the actors were practicing that scene together. They were doing their read through, and then we saw the pan of like how they are on screen. It was so good. And plus they would look really good together, personally. He brought a completely different side to Nicole that we haven't seen the other men do.
Girl, listen, and it doesn't even have
Like
to
Jasmine Williams said, like Jasmine Williams said, when it's uh, Nicole and Carlton, or Nicole and Kyle, or Nicole and Ted, is toast and mayonnaise.
Yep. I honestly I would be interested just as part of soapy drama. Again, I wouldn't condone that because I don't like real life messiness. There's too much chaos.
Right.
But if they were going to do some soapy twist, them two could have been harboring feelings for each other over the years and never acted on it.
Attraction, and it could have been like looks, because there's something about that ain't the way that, it was intense. It was so hot, and they could definitely go the direction. I'm here for that.
Yep, that would be
Good
interesting.
Morning, Jay.
Hey Jay, what's going on? We were talking about you earlier. Jay, if you're listening, we trying to do the end of the year recap, and I want you guys on there. I'm gonna try to get in touch with Keish to see if we can talk about 2025 as a whole, and we want to get all of our thoughts. So me, you, Bree, Keish, yeah, and see what happened. Okay. Yeah, but me and Carlton, and to me, Carlton and Naomi. Oh, I should call that girl Naomi.
I was like, wait, you said you and Carlton? I was like,
No,
wait,
no,
wait,
no, no,
story
no,
with
no, no, no,
that.
no, 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 no. Carlton, he's so silly. Girl, you crazy. I don't pick up on the chemistry of those two. Not for me. Not really. It's two of the same, I guess. I don't know. We did have, speaking of Bill, we did have a old school I should say old school flashback moments again, which the characters did not match. I don't know what they were doing with that. When Danny and Bill was flashing back to the past, and again they had him looking darker. I don't get that part. I'm like, what? But anyway,
yeah,
I'm not gonna go down that road. But then Haley is out there making wheels and deals trying to get this man to be 6 feet under. And because
I feel like did it seem like she backed away from that a
well,
bit?
she's slowing it down because she said it in her chat, called him dearly departed a couple days ago. My soon to be dearly departed husband. So she wants him gone. She's just now trying to slow it down. And as she's slowing it down, Bill is now, because I guess Danny is knee deep in her marriage with Andre. Now he want kids, and she looking like, I'm trying to get rid of you. I ain't trying to have no kids.
Yeah, I'm like, sir, how is it you're a high-powered criminal attorney? You don't do the background check on your wife.
Exactly.
Well, he was trying to do a background check months ago on Andre.
Yep, but you don't check your own wife.
Yeah.
Just because emotion got in front of logic, like I was saying before.
But do you believe that's what he wants? Because I feel like,
I think he's just doing it as a knee jerk reaction because Danny seems to be so happy and she's making
mm-hmm,
plans with her husband, so he's looking for something to, I guess, prove to himself that, this marriage that he's in is it. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm, I
So,
agree.
yeah,
I,
I don't think that man is almost 50 years old. He got 30-year-old kids.
oh,
And
he has 50.
right, and so you trying to bring in an, I'm not saying a 50-year-old man shouldn't or whatever. I mean, people do what they want to do. But in this case, I just
Mm-hmm.
think it's a reaction to Danny's newfound happiness.
Yes, yes, yes. And, I honestly feel
Mm-hmm.
there's a bigger plan involved because there's just no way this man just ignores the fact that she had a whole conversation while standing over his body.
Yeah.
And
So you think he's setting her up to see how she would react to this whole baby thing?
honestly, yeah,
Okay. That could be it. Because I was thinking the same thing. He had to hear what she said.
there's just no way. And the way that he looked at that cup when she left, like
Mm-hmm.
he knows.
He knows
He
something's up.
knows. And then we got the stuff with Lynette
Mm-hmm.
popping up. And that I don't believe in coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why she's there. I don't. She Kaylee's about to get busted. If it's not by Bill, if it's not by Caroline, it's gonna be this Lynette lady because she said there's no loyalty to this game. I do believe that.
Yep. I'm surprised
So,
Randy
however,
hasn't
she's
been.
about to.
I'm surprised Randy hasn't been caught yet by Joey, or maybe Joey already knows and he's playing the long game.
I think that's my thought because, especially when he brings up the stuff with him meeting Haley,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past Joey to have bugged hit Randy's phone or his car without him knowing, so he can
Mm-hmm.
keep tabs on the situation. Um, because he's made it more than obvious, and on top of that, I don't know why Haley and Randy are meeting in public still like this.
Yeah, they stupid.
Like, you guys can get burner phones and talk through there. That makes absolutely no sense.
Yep.
But Joey had no problem putting bugs on Vanessa and Doug's phone in the car and everything so he can keep tabs on situations. So he
Mm-hmm.
probably has, and he's keeping it quiet. He's going to let Randy, I guess, hang himself.
Hang himself. Yep. I agree. I agree. What about this whole thing with Samantha? Yeah, Leslie then overtook that plan.
Mm.
But that's what it
This
didn't
is what
make sense.
Samantha gets.
But this goes back to what Keish was saying, that this is plot driven.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. It's plot driven. And Samantha is getting a taste of her own medicine because here is the proof right here that Kat was trying to tell her about Eva and her mother. And she over there trying to say, like, oh, Kat has changed. That may be true to some degree, but Eva has not. She's going to make it all about herself, and so will her mother.
Yep.
And this is what you get. They shut you out of your idea.
Yep.
You have all of these family members with money, with charities, with different connections. Also in the medical field, you have both of your grandparents in the medical field who would have gladly helped you out starting your clinic. They know the legalities of starting their own practices or starting different organizations, everything. You lean onto Eva
Right.
and her mother for what? Thinking what outcome you thought you were about to get with those two.
Yep. And that's what she get. And then she was like, oh my God, I think I've been snubbed out of my own idea. Well, that's what happened when you could have went to your own. Your family is a huge resource. And I'm surprised Smitty and Martin weren't like, well, why you didn't come to us? They just letting it happen.
There you go. Exactly. They would have insured last one of them family members.
Yep, I
But
agree.
but you went to Leslie think you were going to get a better outcome because you thought Eva was going to be able to get a hold of her. See, this is what happens. See, this is the dose of reality when people completely ignore Kat's warnings, and this is what they get.
Yeah.
She told you not to deal with them. This is what happens. Now they don't want to deal with you with your idea.
Nope. She said basically, yeah, it might have been her little idea, but it's my money.
And here's the thing. Eva, she could have worked with her auntie if she wanted to. She could have worked with Eva, but you could have easily said, hey, I don't want to get Leslie involved. Let's try to pull from different donors. And the thing is, Eva knows how messy and selfish her mother is.
Mm-hmm.
Why go to her thinking this is going to change her actions when you just had a discussion about how she was terrorizing Laura and how she keeps terrorizing and causing issues for her to do freeze and trying to play victim in the process?
Mm-hmm.
Why get her involved with any of this, thinking it's going to change anything?
Yeah, that's why it didn't make sense.
So,
That's why the whole
yeah.
thing that Keish was saying about plot driven, it's like y'all just trying to create a new storyline, and it because it just doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? There's no
And
way.
Bobby Wobby 13,
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Wobby 13, I agree with this. Naomi dealing with Leslie is even worse. Why are you entertaining this conversation?
Mm-hmm. Just because she's
Why?
paying you for the moment?
Look, she could have passed it off to anybody, or better yet, she could have declined it
Mm-hmm.
and kept it moving. There should have been no reason to have a conversation with Leslie at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Like, there's other lawyers, there's other people. Since she got money now, she pulled all that money from your grandmother. Let her utilize that money and get the help elsewhere.
Exactly.
But you're going to tell her to attach herself to an established charity, leaning more towards your family. No, let that woman hang herself. If she want to run through all her money, by all means, let her do that.
Yep. Let her do it.
Yeah.
All right. Did we cover everything?
Did we cover everything? We did talk about we did talk about the Leslie thing. And looks like they're inching Shanice and Ted closer together. I think we did.
Okay.
And whatever is going on with Isaiah and Elon.
Yeah. And then we saw Andre, they trying to make his Christmas a good one because his parents are gone. So, little things here and there. Yep. All right, let's get to our final segments, and I'm going to get you guys out to enjoy your Saturdays. I know it's almost 10 o'clock here, so it's probably about 11 on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do our flip the script. Who's taking several seed star of the week, pickle of the week, and Simple Olympics, and the Lily Winters Award. So, what you flipping on YNR?
That conversation between Jack and Nikki would have went differently. Okay. I would have loved for him to cuss her out the same way he cussed out Adam, because she chose to go put her nightgown on and take herself to sleep versus to help out her friend and warn her friend. And she could have easily went downstairs. He should have cussed her out for that.
Gotcha. I would have flipped the whole situation of Michael or even Adam giving Jack and Diane a heads up that what was coming. Nobody said nothing.
Yep.
Because they had an opportunity to call and say, hey, Jack, listen, Victor is about to run a hit piece. Prepare for whatever you need to do. Nobody said nothing. All right, what you flipping on Bold?
I would have loved for Steffi to call out Hope for having no problem parading Thomas around and using him physically and also for his talent, and for her to backpedal and say now she's uncomfortable just to keep her brother around, and it's going to make things worse for her and lead him. Well, she's going to have to deal with it, or she can leave too.
Yep. I would have flipped where Sheila says, "Why are you not giving me credit for the fact that I did not show up at that wedding?"
Oh, that's a good one. That's
I
a
She
really
should
good
have
one.
called that out and be like, you're looking confused and worried about my thoughts of coming to the wedding, but you're not giving me credit to show that I had restraint and didn't show up. Where's that credit? Call them out.
Yeah.
What you flipping on BTG?
I actually would have loved it if Tracy were to call out Sharon and says, like, you're having all of these phone conversations. I saw how you and Vernon were at the Winter Fest, and back Sharon into a corner she can't get out of so she can admit what she's doing.
Yeah. Okay. Um, let's see. What would I have flipped on there? I would have, I don't know, the moment that Samantha found out that Leslie was running loose with this whole idea, I would have just cut the cord and had somebody else do it. Have her say, you know what, I'm done with this. Eva, just forget about everything. I don't want no parts of this. I'm going to, see what my grandparents can do. Cut them out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's taking seats on Y&R?
Boy, Noah, Sienna, and Kane can take a seat
Okay.
this week, because especially the way that Kane rushed to change clothes because Lily told him so. Boy, that is not a weak man, I don't know what is. And of course, Noah's stupid self is out in public and you have security detail.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Adam and Michael a seat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who's taking a seat on Bold?
Um, that's actually a good question.
I'm gonna give Taylor a seat
Hope
for
can take a
being
seat.
Yeah, you got Hope, I got Taylor. Taylor being dropping nuggets, being manipulative. Girl, if you don't go and take a seat on your own couch.
For real.
Gosh. And then who's taking seats on BTG?
um, I'm going to give probably Ted a seat, because we forgot about this conversation he had with Eva. The way that he continues to disrespect Kat, he can go ahead and take a seat.
Gotcha. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna give Sharon a seat for trying to 2 seconds after hearing what's going on with Anita, you calling her husband. Girl, if you don't get up off that phone, that man don't even know you in town. Get your little
But you in
hot
her
look,
house
get
calling
your
her
little
man.
hot self, and go sit down somewhere.
Go to your husband.
Exactly. Go sit on your husband. All right.
For
And
real.
all right, and taking seats. Script taking seats. Okay, and then star of the week. Young. I'm gonna give it to Eric Braden. As much as I can stand Victor Newman, Eric Braden, that scream, I'm like, holy crap.
Oof, that scared me. I'll say, yeah, I'll take that too.
And then somebody said earlier in the chat is that it's interesting how as narcissistic as Victor is, Eric Braden's personality is totally opposite of that.
Oh yeah, I've seen his videos too. He's such a sweet man, sweet man.
And especially with his family, his sons, grandkids. Yeah, and he
Hmm.
definitely talks a lot about politics and stuff too, and what's going on in the world. But um,
Yeah.
he was. I was like, whoa, the way he yelled at Nikki, I'm like, okay. Star of the week, bold.
Thomas,
Thomas Matt
Matt
Atkinson.
Atkinson,
Yes, Matt
we
Atkinson.
missed you.
Mm-hmm.
He looks delicious on screen. Oh, we miss you on our screens. Please keep him around, y'all.
Yes, let him stick around for a while. Star of the week,
Mm-mm.
BTG. I don't
I'm gonna
know.
give that to Tamara Tooney.
Oh yeah. Okay, I agree with you on that one. I want to see how she act this out. They did an article on this storyline too. I think was that you that dropped in the group chat?
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I give it to Tamara Tooney. All right, pickle of the week, young Noah.
Noah and Sienna, since they want to be two peas in a pod, just out, and they know that that man's trying to hunt them down.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. Noah and maybe even Michael with his little snaky behind. Um,
Mm-hmm.
pickle of the week, bold.
Hope can get a pickle
Taylor get mine
because
again.
clearly, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they both can use it.
Yep.
Because clearly Liam's not doing it right even after they got
Girl, you so crazy.
married.
You are funny. All right, pickle on BTG.
um, my girl Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
I love Vanessa. Don't get me wrong, but she, well, the pickle's obviously her issue, but she deserves a pickle for how she's treating
Right.
her family.
I know, right?
um, and pretty much just spitting on Doug's,
Mm-hmm.
casket. That's just oof,
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. I'll
yeah.
even throw a pickle Sharon's way. It's just no decorum on what she's doing. So unless she is truly helping writing a song, which I don't know about all that, but yeah. All right, Simple Olympics.
I had to really think about this. So Kane is getting bronze for me,
Mm-hmm.
even though we saw him that for Monday's episode for a little bit. You rush out and you change because a woman told you to do.
Okay.
Yeah, he, yeah. Silver's gonna go to Jack. You still caping for Nikki and still holding out for Nikki and want to protect Nikki and Nikki this, Nikki that, and your whole company is going under because of her husband. And
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't even want to reciprocate that same rush to protect you like you do.
Mm-hmm.
So he can miss me with that. Gold is going to go to Noah.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about protecting Sienna and at the same breath saying that you're not scared of Matt Clark. You would risk your life for Sienna. And she's a whole married woman. You can't be man enough to break up with your girlfriend. Okay. Anyway, Platinum's going to go to Vanessa
Mm.
for
I heard
obvious
that.
reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You risking your whole reputation, risking going to jail, risking losing your kids, risking everything for Peen and how it makes you feel and the power that comes with that pain.
Mm-hmm.
But Cosmic's going to go to Michael. He's earned that this week. Being a fair weather friend, being a fake friend, and then still trying to kiss up to Victor, and oh my lord, everything with Michael this week.
I know, right? Okay.
He wasted no time backing away from what his wife told him to do and stay away from Victor. He wasted no time.
Okay, so I'm gonna give bronze to Adam. I'm going to
Oh,
yeah. I'm going to give the silver to Kane. I'm
okay,
going to give gold to Vanessa. I'm going to give platinum
okay,
to Noah and then cosmic to Michael.
okay.
Hmm.
So we switched up a little bit.
Yeah, Adam, you just do whatever your daddy tell you to. And I get it, he's your
Yep.
boss or whatever, but you trying your best to get that approval. You got Chelsea mad, you got Jack mad, you got everybody looking at you like you crazy. So,
Yes.
all right, the Lily Winters Award. And for those that are new to our chat or haven't heard, Lily Winters is hypocritical, annoying.
Mm-hmm.
What any other adjectives you would like to add, Bree?
Hypocritical, annoying, just wants to run her mouth and not make any sense. People don't bother her, but she has no problem poking and bothering other people. And people have to constantly prove themselves to her. She owned her own award this week.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give it to Taylor because you the main one sitting around talking about how Brooke is trying to undermine other people's marriages while yet in turn you're trying to undermine Sheila's marriage. And you dropping in nuggets, being manipulative, you trying to be slick. So I'm gonna give it to Taylor.
Okay. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
well deserved. They earned it this week.
Yes, they did. All right, you guys, we are going to end it right here. I will let you guys get on with your Saturday. Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever you celebrate. This upcoming
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks. I still, like I said with Bree earlier, we'll still be trying to figure out about doing the summary of the year or the recap of the year, the good storylines, what went bad, what could they do differently, just our perspectives over this past year. So she was mentioning a morning time, and I do have several days coming up off the next 2 weeks. So I definitely could arrange something in a morning slot for us to meet with you guys and we have some dialogue to talk about this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. All right, so I'll be in touch with you on that, Bree, and try to get in touch with Keish and Jay and see if we can get the whole crew on, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
All right,
And
you.
yes, we did lose Tony Geary. We got so much to discuss for the end of the year on all three shows.
Yes, tell me about it. Good, bad, the ugly. Yep. All right. Until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye, Soapies.
Bye, Sophie.